Get up, get up. My world is with my girls. Living on the dance floor.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Leave It on the Dance Floor. Thank you for joining my podcast. Today, I have none other than Richy Jackson. Woo woo!
Let's go.
Now, he is known worldwide, probably in outer space on other planets as well. They know that he is responsible for Lady Gaga's choreography, for all those moves that everybody tries to do at home and tries to do on TikTok. He created them. He invented them. He thought them up. He did it all. However, I like to think of him as my partner in crime, my judge sitting next to me on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, Season 1 and Season 2. Richy and I, there to say,
We
yes,
keep rolling together.
that's right. Richy, thank you so much for being here. Say hello to the world.
Hello, world. I'm Richy Jackson. I'm so happy to be here with Abby Lee Miller, my partner in crime when it comes
That's
to judging the kids. And now we're here together.
But you wanted me to be nice. A little bit. But then I think you got it at the end and you would just laugh. You're like, oh no, we like her, we like her, we like her. And I'd go, rah! And you'd be like, okay.
I mean, at first I was like, Abby, just be a little nicer, but then I got it.
Yeah.
You know, Abby brought the pain, and I just brought a little lukewarm to just make sure that the kids don't die. Leave them with a little bit of inspiration, but it made sense. It worked.
Yes, it does. It does. And it was a great show.
I love that show. We had a fantastic time. All the kids, the moms, everyone went for it. I just loved how our banter was. I loved that the third seat was always a little suspect.
Yeah, well, you know, we had Robin.
We had
we
Robin.
Can say it.
We had
We
Robin.
had Robin Anton, creator of the Pussycat Dolls. Yes, yes. And she had like 45 outfits, and she picked a little bit of each one and put them on her body and showed up. And then we had Rochelle Rack.
Yes.
Woo! Broadway. Woo! And and it was just like, she wanted to be on the stage.
Bite the apple.
Bite the apple rather than be in the seat.
In the seats.
Right. And she just wanted to bite that apple, bite that. And I was like, apples, we can't say apples. Don't say it. We don't want to say
Before it was
apples.
Pussycat Dolls, now it's apples.
I know, but we don't want to say apple because candy apple. I'm like, and she keeps saying apple every time I'm looking over at her, like, would you stop with the damn apples? Oh, my goodness.
But we love you, Kathy. We love you, Kathy.
Well, yeah, we love Robin and we love Rochelle, of course.
We love Robin, we love Rochelle. We had the time of our lives.
Yes, we did. We had fun. So, yeah. Robin was like, she was expensive. She had like millions and millions and millions. She didn't need to be sitting there with us.
Robin came glammed bam. Me and you used to look up and be like, all right, where you
How long
going?
did it take her to get ready? And
2 hours.
Okay, since we're talking about Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition,
Yes.
can we just say, Season 1, we were in a theater downtown.
Loved.
You loved it?
I loved it.
Okay. Did you ever come to visit me upstairs in my dressing room?
No. I never had a chance to get up there. Ever.
Well, you probably couldn't get up there.
No, because we were downstairs in the basement.
Well, it was a sauna. There was no air conditioning. It was an old theater downtown.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It's like a landmark or something.
Yes.
But I was in a room that should have been a dance studio. It had wood floors, natural real wood floors. It was probably 80 feet by 60 feet.
No way.
And they had this like partitioned off for me to get dressed and then to do my hair and makeup. And I would just melt. It would like fall off my face.
Abby, how? Why did they have you up there? And just downstairs was cool and chill.
Well, they had that. Remember, they would pipe in that air with those big giant pipe, and they would bring it in.
Yes. It was just so hot.
All right, now, a lot of those kids work professionally.
Yes.
And I remember Season 2 better than Season 1 because I think, I don't know, there was a lot going on. John Carlo used to show up on Season 1.
100%.
He actually showed up for work. Like,
yes, he did. John Carlo showed up for showing up for work.
Yeah, showing up for work for 13 days. Okay.
For a few days.
Yeah. Okay, so then the kids learned an opening number.
Yep.
And then they couldn't always do the opening numbers.
Nope.
Because some people couldn't count the music or stay in time with the music.
They could not.
They could not. Now, from that season, I called a kid Roadkill. Do you remember?
Who was Roadkill?
She was blonde, and her mom used to say, I'm in it to win it.
Hadley. Her mother.
Hadley.
Yes,
Oh
her
my
mother's name was
gosh,
Yvette.
Hadley.
Is that Season 1?
That was season 1.
Yes, I
believe.
was right.
Yeah.
Wow. Hadley, yes.
Hadley.
I
I wonder if
remember.
Hadley's still dancing.
I doubt it. I
Well,
could be
Hadley,
wrong.
if you are listening, if you are watching, let us know. Write in. Maybe Yvette will have to pop on. At
Yeah,
some
I don't
point.
know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
we have a call in.
Yes.
Yes.
Hadley,
Okay.
let us know, Troops. Are you dancing down or not?
Yeah. All right. Now, there was also a little one on there
Yes.
named Asia.
Woo!
Asia Monet Ray. Or Asia Ray Monet,
Baby
something like that.
Beyonce. Baby
And-
Beyonce.
Yeah, and you loved her.
Lived. for her.
Lived. But that was kind of why we couldn't do the group dances.
I know.
Yeah. So, but she was little.
I know.
She was little. And I was like, why do you waste all these time on these group dances? Just pull her out. Or let her flip across the front or something, you know?
100%.
Instead of trying to make a kid do 5, 6, 7, 8 and a 1 and 2. Like she couldn't. So just like choreographically,
Yeah,
if you're smart, you just flip, 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 pose.
100%.
Right. And they didn't do that.
But
They
you
didn't
ended up
listen.
having her as like in the group on Dance Moms in season 3, which was amazing. So eventually,
Me?
So were you the
Me?
one that brought her on?
No.
So
Hell
you
no.
were not the one that brought her
No.
on.
She-
Okay.
Love the kid, love the mother, not a group dancer.
So maybe they just brought her on to have something with Mackenzie. Like
They won a
two-
competition
Okay.
between those
Yeah,
two.
That makes
100%.
And they loved Asia. And she was a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
And man, when that
And
kid
that's
did a
why.
solo,
She never
Down.
lost. She never lost once.
but she would knock everybody's socks off.
No, 100%. She
And-
was a star.
She was a star.
You just couldn't put her in a group. Which is great, but
He
that's why
said
she's a
it, not
star.
me.
No,
Right.
but
Well,
that's why she was a star, though.
Yeah, and then
Right.
you think that, and then you think it's like just height differences. When you cast anything, you need everybody to look the same. That way, it all looks uniform enough,
Yeah,
right?
but it was also her execution of all the choreography. The group movement, she just did it her own way. Or
She was
didn't-
at level 100 while everybody else was at level 98.
or she just found her level.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
like
It
she
might not
just
have
did
been the level,
may
but
not
it
have
was
been
her
the level.
level. But it's, you know what I mean? But it's still, you know,
Love
at least
this.
for me, I was like, she's a star, but no, it didn't work with the group.
Got
right.
you.
But
That's all.
as a choreographer, they should have fixed that.
Yep.
There's a way to make that kid look good in that group doing something else. I had to
Yes.
do the same thing with, and I know what you're talking about, height difference, because like if Mackenzie would jump, she would be up and down, back down before Kalani got off the ground.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It just the timing, the counting, and their belong, their power.
Yeah.
And it just was a hot mess. But anyway, so there's a lot of group dances that were choreographed for Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition that nobody has seen.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have any videotapes of those? Did you ever whip your phone out?
No, never. I never got one moment. We were just always so in it.
Yeah, we were.
We were just so, and
If
it
you
was
had to do it
also so
again,
new.
If we do it again, I think
All
we
day.
need to pay more attention to our social media. You know, because some of those kids like blew up.
100%.
And yeah, now, okay, let's stay on season 1. So have you seen, do you follow Asia?
No, I actually don't. I haven't seen anything since there was a TV show she did.
Yeah, she
With
had a
her
spin-off.
family?
They tried
Both
to
said she
make
should have
her
a
a show. Right.
Yes.
And then she also came on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
See,
Or
I
no.
didn't-
She came on Dance Moms.
Dance Moms. Okay.
And she,
Wait, now how did that happen? Got it. The system. Understood.
Which is interesting because I don't think the fans really knew that. I think that everybody assumed that you just like wanted to bring her on because you loved her. I mean, you know.
it's the same thing as, do I dare say the name? JoJo. She was a star. She was her own thing. She was a soloist. And it's hard to take those soloists and make them conform to a group.
Interesting.
Mm.
And as a dancer, though, training,
Yep.
going to dancing school as a little kid growing up, you need to dance with the group. There's 36 Rockettes on that stage, and nobody goes, look at me, you get fired. You know, it's that. But now all these kids are vying to be better and to be different and wear the chartreuse glowing fluorescent outfit, you know,
Yes.
crop
Mhm.
top and booty shorts to be
Yeah.
noticed me.
Yes.
So I've actually had students do it wrong on purpose to pull focus, to pull your eye.
Wow.
Yes. I want to say not wrong, but timing.
Yeah,
They're
timing.
going to go
Execution.
fast. They're going to hold the leg longer.
Yeah.
They're going to jump higher. Miranda's one of those people. That work
And
for
normally
me.
that's a no.
No, that's
you don't
a no.
do that. You can't do
You
that.
can't do that professionally
No.
working. No. So when they come in to this group thing, it's hard It's really hard to cool them down
Yes.
and what do you call it? Rein them in
100%.
and say, calm down. These are the counts. This is what we need you to do. No more, no less.
No less.
So that was a competition that we were at in New Orleans. And Peyton was there. And she
Okay.
was like ginormous, right?
Yes.
Tall. For those kids. She wasn't tall in general, but she
Yeah,
was
but
just tall for those kids.
kids.
I have this one, that one, Peyton's mother and Chloe's mother get in a fight on Bourbon Street
What?
with Bourbon and a fist fight. So they are taken off the show, the kids.
And this is an
Boom.
episode that
No
we'll go into
way.
in full later on. We'll definitely do an episode just based on that
Oh,
moment,
okay.
that whole
All
time.
right. So we'll get
Yeah.
into this later, but
Oh my
they
God.
go away, right? So I'm out 2 kids.
Okay.
But there's a girl that I love in New Orleans that I know that kind of, I know her teacher.
Has
Da, da, da. So we pull her in. So Asia leaves. Instagram, where did she go?
In that episode, she had said that she was going to retire from being a competition dancer. So once that fight happened, I think she had like an excuse to not finish. So
But
that was the whole.
retire,
that
but-
was.
But then to go into what?
It wasn't,
To go
her
into
show
her-
didn't happen then.
It was like a year later. So
Yes.
I'm not really sure.
So it wasn't like she left and it was part of story and the next week her show
Yeah.
premiered.
Got
no,
it. Okay.
no, it wasn't like that. She just
Okay.
left. So why not stay, beat the crap out of Mackenzie, make a name for yourself,
Yeah.
and now you would have multi-millions in the bank.
I mean,
I don't get it.
but what did
But-
she do when she left? What?
Nothing. We never heard from her
Well,
again.
she did her own acting, modeling, influencer
She did. She was on
jobs
a
after.
real show like OJ or something.
I
the
believe when
OJ story.
she was before she was even on Dance Mom, she was in like Grey's Anatomy. Like she had
See,
done
but that's
like
the difference, though.
you
My
know.
thing is that when it comes to Asia, she had star quality. Like
She did.
y'all should have made her into an artist, easily done. And I
Yeah.
think that's where her and JoJo differ. Like, yes, true, JoJo always stood out and did things her own way, but that's why I'm at the judges' table. I would say she's gonna be an artist. She's gonna be a star. She's gonna
That's
be an
right.
entertainer. Something.
When we're sitting at the table judging these kids, we all knew that.
Yes.
I knew that too.
Yes.
Robin knew that.
Yes.
Robin was all for the kids. She thought she'd be the next Pussycat Doll. She was trying to make a mini group of Pussycat Dolls.
100%. The little cats.
Yeah, we had another term for it, I think.
But she should have been an artist. But
Right. But I want you to go and look at her Instagram.
okay.
So do you have your phone on
I
you?
do.
Let's grab it. Let's go real quick and do that.
This is Asia?
Yep.
At least she's singing now.
Is she dancing or singing?
She's singing. She's so grown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it though, it was over a decade ago now.
Okay,
Yeah.
troops. All right,
So
Asia.
yeah,
How
I know
old
her
is she,
hair
though?
is long.
How old is she now?
Well, she was 6 at the time, and that's
15. I think
so
she's 15.
No, she's probably 17 at this point.
Oh
16,
my
17. Yeah.
gosh.
I know. So,
Anyway, we're talking today about season 2, but Asia
Okay.
was one of the amazing success stories that
Yes.
came out of season 1.
season 1. Yes.
But season 2, like you said, JoJo was on that season.
Okay, now let's jump.
Wait a minute. What is that work? I mean, wow, but oh my gosh. Okay.
I invited her to come on. I'd love to talk to her.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in season 2.
Okay.
Robin's gone.
Yes.
Rochelle's in.
Yes.
The 3 of us are there. We know the game. We've done it before. We played this game before.
All day long.
Right. This one next to us is trying to win Boardwalk and the electric company and everything. And every chance she could get to get on that stage, we had to get on that stage. And we had
Yes.
to walk out. And I wanted no parts of that. My sandals were slipping on the floor. You're like holding me up. It was, oh God. And pictures. Let's do this. Let's do that. I don't think we have like maybe 2 pictures of with Robin
Yes.
together.
No, barely.
Okay. So now we have a cast.
Yes.
Okay. So we have 2 little boys. We have, is that where Zach was? Or he was on season 1?
Zach was on season 1.
Yes.
Wow.
Remember?
Zach.
Zach is no longer Zach.
Zach now goes by Lennon.
Lennon, girl.
Lennon.
Yes.
How long?
It's been a minute. It's I believe that she started her transition. She goes by she.
Okay.
She started her transition, I want to say 2 years ago when she decided to come out, and she looks gorgeous. She's happy. She's thriving, and
Is she dancing?
She is not dancing, at least on social media. And
Okay.
I'm sure that, there's a lot of reasons for that because everybody remembers, her as him. And that's,
Yeah.
not to say that she probably wants to say goodbye to all of that, but, when you make your transition, it's like you want to try to look forward versus looking back. So,
All right. Well,
but we wish Lennon well.
we all the best.
Yes.
All the
Work,
best.
Lennon. All
So
right.
so Lennon from season 1, and then Asia from season 1.
Yep.
Hadley, and then the winner from season 1,
Where is she?
Brianna.
Brianna.
I don't have a last name here.
Wow.
Brianna, if you are listening, you're welcome to come on. We would love to see what you're doing now. And
She
then
never went to Joffrey.
I don't. She never went to Joffrey. Maybe she went to a Joffrey program like out here somewhere, but never went to New York to Joffrey to live.
and
or
then
anything.
McKaylee won season 2.
And then now we're gonna jump to season 2. So clear your brain.
Wow.
Season 2, we have Rochelle there, biting the
Okay.
apple.
Yes.
Okay, and we have the shiny stage, which I was an EP, executive producer for all of you,
Work.
and never got to put any 2 cents in about this white, shiny, curved edge floor that nobody could dance on. That nobody, oh my God. All right, I couldn't even walk on it. It was a nightmare. So remember, we used to go in to the dance classes. You guys would go in,
Yes.
but it was a good job.
It was
We
fantastic.
worked 2 days a week, didn't we?
It was amazing. Those little 2 days were everything. Live for it.
And people would come. Like Rebel Wilson used to come to like
Yes.
start. I didn't even know who people were, and they were in the audience. They loved it because they loved Dance Moms. They wanted to see this.
It was a great show.
It was a great show.
Yes.
Except I think we had bad food every day, but that was okay. All right, so we
And the
go-
theme song was amazing, by the way.
Yeah, where
I don't remember it.
Those of you who are watching on Patreon, you'll probably be able to hear the whole thing. But
Let's
if
get it.
not,
I don't remember.
theme
No.
song
I don't remember it.
it's called All Star.
was it? Like a We Three Kings thing?
Bill, if you're listening, I'm not sure if this was We Three Kings.
Bill,
Of course,
let me know.
yeah, it was
Did we
adorable.
walk out to it?
Yeah, hold
No,
on.
it was one of those. Abby, you giving your.
I know.
Your
I tried
little-
to do that again, and I
you
couldn't
gave
really
me
do that.
like.
Here it is. Here.
Yes.
Maybe we could do a little TikTok challenge.
According
Richie.
to
maybe
Brian,
a little TikTok
yeah.
challenge.
Let's
Maybe we could
do
do
it.
that.
Oh,
shame.
that's the move for that. Is that boom?
Mama
So
said,
so Brian Stinson said that the show did really well.
yeah.
Like financially and numbers wise, the show did really, really well. It was hard to sell it to other countries. And once they got so lucky selling Dance Moms to 134 other countries,
Work.
they wanted to just do the same thing. But
Got
once you
it.
find out who wins, it's like why you're watching it. Right.
100%.
Right.
Yes.
So anyway, that's what happened because I could have kept doing that. And when they did that Abbey Studio Rescue, I did not want to do that show.
Oh yeah, I was wondering about that.
And we should have done Abby's Ultimate again. We should have went just right back to it.
Yes.
Well, they should have did both because you think about you had Gordon Ramsay who was doing Kitchen Nightmares, making up these amazing restaurants.
I
That
mean,
was
that's
something
true.
that I know you didn't want to do it because your mother had just passed away and it was a horrible
Right.
time to do it.
Right. It was a bad
But
time.
that's a show that you were really good at, whether you think or not everything.
No, well,
but
thank you. But
that- the fans loved it for what
Okay.
it's worth. So,
All right.
just so
Well,
you know,
okay.
Bring back Abby's Ultimate. Okay.
bring
Yeah.
back Abby's
Yeah.
Ultimate.
Bring it
bring
We
back.
are.
We-
Are in season 2. We're there.
Yes.
We have JoJo.
Woo!
We have Kalani.
Woo!
We have. You didn't like Kalani.
No.
She was boring to you
No
to
love
watch.
lost Kalani. She was just
Pretty.
Kalani was the perfect one, right?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. She was probably a better fit for Dance Moms.
100%. She was
Versus-
perfect Patty.
Yeah. For dance.
And you lived for
Oh
that.
my God.
Well, because she
Oh,
wanted her on her.
I was like,
yeah,
oh my
You wanted
gosh.
her on your team.
He was yawning.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we love you, Kalani.
We
Yeah.
live for you,
Yes,
Kalani.
we live.
But at the time,
Yes.
Right.
Compared to
Abby had your back.
I did. Remember, I announced the wrong winner.
Hardcore, I remember.
Now, when I announced that today's not your day, was I alone and you guys vanished, or were you all sitting there with me?
No, we were there.
Yeah, it was
You were
all
there?
on the
Yeah,
judging
yeah.
panel.
Today's not your day. And just see those poor kids cry, hug their mothers. And you were just like, she's got to go. And I'd be like, oh my God. I mean, give them a little bit of a pass. Like, let them, like, she's like, no, next. I love that about you. I don't know why. I always like, Abby, be a little nice.
So what you're trying to say is the next time you audition dancers for a tour, I should come
No,
and go,
because you
God,
will cut them
God.
harder than I do. I cut them with like a butter knife. You know, I leave them
Oh,
with
you
a little.
cut them with a butter knife.
Yes, like you don't like. I don't take them down. You're just like no.
Well, it's funny.
So talk to me about
Yeah.
that. So for all of you, Richy auditions thousands of dancers,
Yes.
hopefuls,
Yeah.
to do, let's say, Gaga's tour.
Yes.
So how many dancers do you employ?
So recently, I just had an audition for Gaga's past tour for Chromatica.
Chromatica, right.
There were 1,000 people that showed up. They came from all over.
1,000 all over the world.
1,000
right.
all over the world, 2-day audition. And for that job in particular, I cast 14 dancers. And it was fantastic. It
and
was
they all were
amazing.
amazing, by the way. I was
Well,
at 7 shows, so. I'm just gonna- yeah, I was
Work!
at 7 shows. I'm
He
gonna
was
brag.
at 7
There you
shows.
have it,
He's a
7
freak
shows.
fan.
Yes, but you know, they all. It
You were
looked
in
like
London?
London both nights. I did Boston, Chicago, MetLife. What am I missing? What am I missing?
Work.
What am I? Oh, Miami. We'll not talk about
We
Miami.
won't talk about Miami.
Loved it. You know
The weather.
Did you ever see the viral video
Yes, I did.
of the rain?
Yes,
that was
I
my
did.
video.
Oh, that was
That was
your
my video, everybody. I did not watermark it, so I've learned since then.
Oh,
but that was my
went
video.
Everywhere.
So you may not. I don't know if you'd be able. Do you think she saw it? Did Gaga see it? You think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she
Oh,
saw it. Everyone
well,
saw that video.
Okay. Well, yes, I
It was
took
genius.
it.
Genius timing.
Genius
What
timing.
happened? Well, I don't even
so
know about it.
you didn't see it. So the concert
Everybody
had to
saw it. I
stop.
didn't-
Gaga, she felt so bad. She
was
wanted
raining?
she wanted to do Rain on Me in the Rain. It was gonna work out so
It
perfectly.
was raining.
It was they said it was gonna rain for the show. Stadium open. Not a good idea. But they were trying. I think the timing was planned to be where it would start raining a little bit at Rain on Me, which was the end of the show. Unfortunately, the thunder came a little quicker than expected, and I say we
Well, that's
because
the
I
thing
was
about
just
Florida, Miami,
Yeah.
Florida. You can't,
try to
the
time
thunder
it.
doesn't
yeah,
go on
but-
cue. Right.
So
And
after the acoustic part, she couldn't even finish the song. They wouldn't even let her finish.
There's some sort of rule where if there's
Yeah.
like thunderstorms or lightning 5 miles out,
hmm
they'll just have to shut down whatever the show is so no one gets, hit.
That's
electrocuted.
exactly like a
Yeah.
swim meet. If you're at
Yeah.
a swim meet and it starts raining, you can swim in the rain, but you can't swim in the lightning
Boom.
and thunder
Yeah.
in the rain.
Yes.
Right.
But it was so sad. I just felt so bad. I had seen that was the last show on the tour too, which really stunk. But
Yeah.
I had gone to 6 other ones before that. I forgot Hershey. That's where I went. Hershey was the best show for that
Work.
I personally went to. But yeah, so she couldn't finish the show. She stayed in costume. She didn't cancel. She didn't pack it all up. But then
100%.
she had to come out and just say, guys, it's just not the stage was completely soaking wet. It just was not gonna work.
Oh, well, that's union. I mean, my kids work at Disney.
Yeah,
that was
I
one
just
raindrop
can't
on
go
that stage. We're like, we're done.
I-
We're not working.
I think it would have been great even if she just sang it like just the Rain on Me part, like just quickly, like without the lights or anything. I don't think any of us would have cared.
Or
But
just saying one
quality,
line.
you know, she wants it to be a show. But
She
hey,
wants it to be
listen,
right.
can I just say though, for anybody who complained, she got through the whole show basically.
100%.
Like she didn't get to Rain on Me, Stupid Love, and Hold My Hand. Love it. That's the final
He
act.
knows the line.
But no, well, because when you go to all these shows, it's like eventually you
Right,
get to
right,
realize
right.
that. But it was amazing. So anyway, so the video was when we were all being evacuated out
Yes.
forcibly. You know, I was front and center, and I'm like, I'm not moving my spot. I'll die in this spot before I'm gonna move. So
Die here.
I'm literally like, strike me, please strike me. And then they move us to the back, and then everybody just starts singing Rain on Me because we were like, okay, you know, why not? And then I just pulled out my phone to record it. And then, as you know, people are like, I'd rather be dry, but at least I'm alive. And then the thunder came, like this huge, huge, huge thing of thunder and lightning out of nowhere. And then
Clap
everybody was
of
like,
thunder. It's a clap of
boom.
thunder.
yeah, everybody was like, whoa. And I got it on video. And then everybody out there, watermark your stuff because
Yes.
everybody, Saint Hoax, love you. You stole my video. You credited me later. But anyway, we'll move on. This is not about me. This is about you guys. So anyway, you were saying like struggling with
Audition dancers for
auditioning
Gaga.
dancer,
1,000,
Chromatica.
you cut
Chromatica
to
was amazing
14.
tour.
Yes,
Yes.
a cut to
Is there
14.
is there swings in there, or did you only need 12 and 2 swings, or did you needed 14?
No swings.
Oh, okay.
We bring no swings.
Really?
We've never have.
No.
How long
Never.
did you get to rehearse the tour?
We rehearsed the tour for a month and a half, like a month and
Wow.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Did you
It was
cast
great.
anyone from out of the country?
No.
Okay.
No.
And so everybody out of those 14, had they done Gaga's tour before?
3 did.
Oh, 3 did,
Yep.
and 11 newbies.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Would you say the cast was young, or like was anybody 16 legal?
No. We always do 18 and
18,
older.
okay.
The youngest one I think was 18.
Okay.
Up to I think the oldest person in the group could be maybe 40. You know.
Yeah,
They
but-
look. But also we don't worry about I don't worry about age when it comes to cast. Like if you have it, you have it.
Yeah.
Well,
And neither does she. So
Now, okay, so the 40-year-old, had they done the tour before?
yes.
Okay, well, you need to count on people.
Well, yeah, 100%. And
And-
people that
and-
know
and-
what this is, and we're
right.
going on tour with her, especially.
And,
It's
well,
just different.
Finish that. What's different about it? Going on tour with her versus, I don't know.
Because I feel like there was this moment where at the audition I let someone go, and they stayed, and they wanted to really talk to me and ask me why didn't they get it.
Was this down near the end or when there was 1,000?
This is down near the end, but just at the end, what happens is that prior to me, let's say day one is me just teaching them choreography to one of her songs. Just to just see where everyone's at.
Okay.
Day two, I gave them a ballet type routine.
Woo! I wish I would have been there. Okay.
And then towards the end of that day, they learned either they learned Bad Romance or they learned Rain on Me. So I separated them in 2 groups.
Okay.
And I said, this routine right here is what people know.
Mhm.
So you have to fit the vibe.
Right.
Like everything you've done now has gotten you here. But now if you don't fit this mold, it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
So long story short, this particular person I let go, they danced to Bad Romance and they just didn't have the vibe and
Right.
what I needed. And so he stayed and he waited and he said, can I please talk to you? So I was like, yeah, let's talk. And so he's like, why did you cut me? I think I have it. And I was like, the honest truth is this. In that room, the room you're going to be in, the room you want to get in, there's no more room for growth. I can't help you grow while on this job because it works so fast. I make so many changes. There's no time for growth. Now you have to be it.
You're grown.
You're grown.
yeah, right,
You can't
right.
be in the room trying to grow, not under these circumstances. And also because, again, there's so many changes, whether it's the choreography, whether the costume now changes it, where the number is now. Is it first? Is it last? I
There was
always
also
say
so many
nothing-
new numbers that you choreographed
There's
too
so
that
many new
nobody had
numbers
seen.
that no one has seen, so I had to have the best. And this particular person just needed more growth. I just
Right.
couldn't grow them in that room. So my point is that when I'm
If
selecting,
you were doing another show, a performance, and you were using 100 dancers, you might have kept this guy
all day,
and said, and we're going to rehearse for a month. It's one number.
Yeah.
I can throw him in the back. He'll work.
yes,
He'll get better. He'll get it by then. But
Like-
not when you're doing a tour like that. No.
No, when you're doing a tour like that, there's just no time for someone's growth. If it was a different artist, even someone who was even newer, maybe because they're growing too, I don't mind bringing people who can grow. But in this particular job, no way.
So
Just couldn't
14
have it.
dancers,
14 dancers.
and they rehearse for 6 weeks.
Yep.
During those 6 weeks, they're getting paid for rehearsal, but
Yes.
does anybody get put up? Or are they on their own to live?
Locally, they live here. But
Right.
when we rehearsed in London, then they were put
Ooh.
up. Yeah.
So they
Well,
all
because
got
it
to be in
started in
London for
Europe.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
No, so we were rehearsing in Burbank for 4.
Oh, and then 2 weeks in London.
Yes. Because there in London,
Wow.
we got the stage, the mock stage. So that, now we're getting the costumes. Now we're seeing everything come together and things are just constantly changing because we're trying to make the costuming work with the lighting, work with the content, work with the songs.
In a stadium. These are stadiums, so
And
the
yeah.
stage was huge.
Yes. So we just had a lot.
My first
to do.
kid in a Broadway show, Mark, was in Footloose, and they did the out of town tryout at the Kennedy Center in
Okay.
DC.
Okay.
And they were underneath, for those kids that are watching this or listening, underneath the stage, down in the rehearsal studios, re-choreographing numbers at noon for a 2:00 matinee. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
So you're in London now. We see the stage. Well, now he can't stand there because he's going to hit that. So we need to move you. Well, now you have to face a different direction.
100%.
Like all all goes down.
And I tell everybody that works with me, I'm like, the routines are the routines inside the studio as they are right now. When we get on this stage, different story. Staging is different. This can't work. This can work. And also, do I have to teach new stuff? Yeah. Like the last day of rehearsal? No, the last 2 days of rehearsal. I remember Gaga asked me, she's like, we need something for this opening, because at first we were just gonna like let it be about the music and
Okay.
about the content, about the film that we show, and then her appear. But once we just started to put the show together, I was like, we need something. We both said we need an intro, and so like there was this like ballet intro. I think I sent it to you. I was like, you guys are the baby bats, and they like open up the
Yeah.
whole show with this ballet number.
Mm-hmm.
That was choreographed. That was the last thing choreographed.
But it was the opening right before Bad Romance, like when
Yes,
she got into
that
space.
was the last thing choreographed. I was like, all right, you, come in here. We have no time. We had an hour,
Oh God.
but I made it work.
Of
I
course you
was
did.
so happy.
Of
And
course
she
you did.
jumped. She was
I'm
like,
trying to
yes.
see.
Not too long ago, I was in the hospital fighting for my life, fighting a very rare form of cancer, Burkitt lymphoma, choking my spinal cord, knocking at death's door, and having to go through 10 very invasive rounds of chemotherapy. I never thought I'd be able to stand on my own 2 feet again, let alone teach dance. It wasn't until Dancers Against Cancer visited me during my recovery to help in my time of need that I realized their incredible mission. They have created an alliance in the dance community that provides financial support and inspiration to dance educators, choreographers, studio owners, dancers, and their families who have been impacted by cancer. The I'm a Dancer Against Cancer campaign was founded in 2012 in response to the loss of a young dancer from cancer. Since then, it has become a beacon of hope in the dance community, uniting dancers all over the nation. Join the fight against cancer and help make a difference with the dance community. For more information on how to get involved and make a one-time or even monthly donation, please visit I'mADancerAgainstCancer.org/donate. Again, please get involved and make a difference within the dance community. Visit I'mADancerAgainstCancer.org/donate. So that was my next question. So Gaga comes in, Richie, we need something. You're like, I know we need something. So we come up with it. How often in your career working together has she come to you and said, we need to fix that, or oh, I'm not so sure about this?
About the number she saw?
Yeah, or does somebody else say that? Is there a somebody above you and Gaga that, well, not above her, but that says, you know what, Richie, that's not going to work here. No, you say make it
The
work.
only time, if ever, because there's never been a time where she's been like, oh, I don't know about this number. Like our relationship isn't like that. We both are like truly in sync about like how we see things.
Okay. And do you
as
sit
if-
down? I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm stepping
It's
on your
okay.
words. When you sit down with her, because I'm so interested in that process. When you sit, do you sit at a table, like at a desk with her, or on a sofa, and do you go through the vision? Is there like a storyboard? Is there like the show, or no? You two just look at each other and you know.
Well, this is the other thing too. Like how do I say this? Gaga has a vision, her world, her music. But then there's also hair, makeup, styling, dance department, choreography. So she also allows us to be artists within her vision, if that makes sense. So
Yes.
and it's more about, there are storyboards, but it also comes down to the set list. So like between her, myself, and Michael Bearden, the music director, like it starts with the music first.
The music
Once
first.
we got
Okay.
the music first, then sort of everything starts to now come into the world. So
Right.
that's how we've always done it.
And so the hair people, they hear it, see it, like the hair, costume, makeup, they come up with their own creative idea of what they feel and what it should be. And she either says yay or nay.
Yeah, or she'll say, this is how I'm seeing it. and then they say okay, and then they take it there. And for us all, if she tells us like this last show was about the Museum of Brutality,
Okay.
I love that. But
Right.
in hearing that, my mind goes. It's that. She plants the seed, and of course she sees everything and says yes or no, but not in that kind of way where I don't like that. I don't like that. It hasn't been like that. If anything, if a number's ever been like cut or changed, 9 times out of 10 it's for the outfit.
And this most recent
the
tour
costuming.
If the
was
outfit, if the outfit is like the outfit, if it just needs to be about the outfit, I'm the first person to abandon ship on every step
Okay.
and be like, it's about the
Just walk. Just stand.
or just
Yeah.
stand like,
Yeah.
and she can do that.
Well,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Now, 2 things I need to tell you. You came to Pittsburgh. Lady Gaga
Yes.
came to Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Richie, thank you. We all got tickets, complimentary tickets. We all got in. And I had the opportunity to meet some of your lovely friends, coworkers, colleagues, the costume people, some hair and
Yes.
makeup people. And
Yes.
and I mean, this is top of the line. This is Gaga. This is Richy Jackson. And their people are up there. Yeah. I
play.
mean, it's the best of the best that you're getting. So thank you for that. Now,
100%.
I saw Gaga's show in Vegas,
Yes. The jazz show?
the jazz show.
Yes.
My mouth was on the floor. And I was pissed that I didn't have better seats because I didn't call you. I didn't even tell you I was
should
there
have
till I was
called
there.
me.
I know, but I went with my friend and it was just, and we just went, a friend from Pittsburgh, Sandy Powers, we just went and I just needed to go for a couple of days and I wanted to see the show so bad and I should have called you for tickets because we were over on the side. But I'm telling you what, she put on one hell of a show. That best time of my life. I mean, one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. It was extraordinary.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
just the story, the music, the videotapes, the staging,
Yes.
her little dancing. Like I know
Yes.
you did your part, but you didn't need all. There
No.
wasn't a lot.
No.
Just staging and all that. It was extraordinary.
And
I mean,
also because she loves jazz so much, it just comes through her on stage. There's a different kind of freedom with that type of show.
oh yeah,
Our pop show has a different kind of freedom, but the jazz show is something completely different. And what I absolutely loved about it was being able to see our pop show Enigma 2 nights in the same week, but then having the jazz show that next night.
it was an
Thursday and
amazing
Saturday
to
pop,
experience it
Sunday
that way.
jazz, and to see the whole stage go from pop to a jazz set. We bring in the orchestra, the musical director, like
oh those
5-piece
musicians
band.
were brilliant. They were. It was just. I was so surprised.
Mm.
And then I'm going to just say it because it's my podcast. Leave it on the dance floor. We're leaving it all out here. The next night I saw John Legend's show and I was like, what is this?
I haven't seen it.
It could not touch. And I love him.
Yeah.
I love the music. I love
Okay.
his wife and the trouble she stirs up. I love it. But it could not compare. And I'm like,
Wow.
John, did you not go see Gaga's show? You got to top that. Like you have to, you can't not. You have to go for it.
And I think our listeners would love to know, is the pop show going to be making a comeback in Vegas? If you can't say it, we can edit it out. Don't stress. It's fine.
I can't say, but I actually don't even know.
You don't know.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
great.
We don't know. We don't
but
know.
I'm curious about we'll kind of put a button on the Chromatica ball. It was canceled because of the pandemic. So
Yes.
was there meant to be a different theme of it prior to like did you go into it knowing what it was going to be before the world shut down, or was the Museum of Brutality something that she came up with after reflecting on everything?
Well,
'Cause
let
I
me
feel
say
like that was what she had said.
let me say this. There, within her mind,
This
herself.
is getting very deep. I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to
Well,
sit
just
here and
basically
smile.
like theme of a show prior to the world shutting down, and
Yeah,
then
'cause
coming
we always
out
Take
of
the
this
camera
was
off me because
Yeah.
Burger King is not a sponsor.
and then but this was the first tour, really one of the first tours back in non-vaccinated events.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
it was big. So I'm just curious if it was meant to be one thing, but
I mean, let me say this. We are all artists, and artists do, change and go with the flow and vibe based off what's happening in the world.
Evolve.
Yeah, evolve. Thank you. That's the better word. But I don't know because we didn't get that far. I can imagine
Yeah.
that maybe at the time there was something that how she saw the tour
Yeah.
to be. But as you saw, I feel like maybe that might not have been. But I'm not really sure because we never got so deep into it. We had just
Okay.
finished Stupid Love and just finished Rain on Me.
yeah.
And that's sort of like where we left. That was it. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of like where we left it. And then the pandemic happened. So
But it ended up, everything, not that the pandemic needed to happen, but everything happened for a reason. And it came out being like thousands and thousands and thousands of people in these different cities every night. It was amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Best
It was
tour.
fun.
We
It
had
was very
so much
fun.
Now, Richie, do you go on the tour?
Yes. So normally with anyone's tour, even when I did JoJo's, I'll go on the tour for about 3 weeks, sort of after it's put together, to just make sure everything's flowing and going through, and there's no problems, no drama.
Okay,
After
now,
that,
you segued into JoJo's tour.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, JoJo's tour. Now,
Yes.
suddenly, you were not a choreographer.
Mm-hmm.
You were not the dance department. You were a producer. You were the creative director.
Yes.
You put the entire show tour together.
Yes.
The entire tour. So if anybody was out there and you saw JoJo's show in any city near you, this is the guy that's responsible. So it's AEG, right?
Yes.
And you worked for them.
Yep.
You put the whole thing together,
Yep.
and you were the boss. And you
Well,
got to
you
tell
know.
JoJo no.
Well, no. No.
Yes, you did.
I was co-boss
Okay.
with JoJo and Jess. You know how with JoJo and Jess.
Okay, so
And
so you went from judging her on Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, this little kid,
yes.
and then you run into her where?
So funny. So I hadn't seen JoJo, God, probably since the show.
Okay.
I had not seen her. I saw her on Instagram and TikTok,
Yes.
but just
Yeah.
hadn't physically seen her. And so I was going to, oh God, I was in Studio City and I was headed to a ramen place.
Okay.
They were coming maybe out of the same ramen place. I wasn't sure, but I see Jess and JoJo, and I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, oh my God. So we
hug, kiss, kiss.
hug,
yeah.
hug, kiss, kiss. And they just said, hey, Jess was like, would you ever work with JoJo? And I'm like, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they called me. The first thing we were supposed to do, there was supposed to be a video, a music video, but for some reason got pushed back, canceled. So the first thing I did with her was actually her performance on, was it Regis and Kelly?
Kelly and Ryan.
Was it Kelly and Ryan?
Kelly and Ryan at that
Yeah,
point.
she did what? Rudolph. What's the song? Out
Rudolph
of
the
all
Red-
the reindeer, you know you're the mastermind.
Run,
Okay.
Run, Rudolph.
Run, Run, Rudolph.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
the first thing I did with her.
All right.
Fantastic. It was her, two dancers. They were dressed like Santa and the reindeer. It was
Okay.
amazing. Then after that, she had her new album coming out, and it was the DREAM video.
Okay.
And so she was like, JoJo and Jess was like, can you do that video? And I was like, sure. So choreographed that video, loved that song, had the best time.
Okay.
And then after that, I heard there was a tour coming up. And I was like, okay, well,
I'm here
hello, I'm here.
because Gaga's shooting a film. I think she was.
At that time,
It was
A Star Is Born.
2019. So no, she had already done A Star Is
Okay.
Born. I just
Yeah.
think that she was maybe in a little bit of a hiatus. She was probably taking a break, or she was just in Vegas, I believe. Maybe she
it
was
might
just
have
she was
been-
just doing her
yes,
Vegas shows.
It was just the Vegas
at
runs.
that point.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
So all that to say is I was like, I'm available. This was October, I think, when we shot the DREAM video.
Okay.
The tour was in like March.
She had time.
So yeah, they was like, well, can you meet with Nickelodeon in like a day, like tomorrow, to deliver the creative for the show?
Oh.
And I was like, yes.
Of course I can.
Of course I can. So
I'll get up an hour earlier.
all
I
I got
got
to
this.
say is, yeah, I went to Nickelodeon the next day and just delivered them the creative of the show. And JoJo was in the room, Jess was in the room, Nickelodeon was in the room. They loved it. And then from there we started to do it, put the
So-
show together.
So I need to know this.
Go in.
So did Nickelodeon hire AEG? Did Jess hire AEG? Did AEG, like, how does that work to put on a tour? For all you kids at home whose parents want you to go on tour around the world doing this.
I believe Nickelodeon and AEG. AEG, has the tour world. They are
Yes,
the
the
touring company.
stadiums,
Yes.
the thing, the merch.
Nickelodeon's
Yeah.
the record company. So I don't know who calls who. I'm assuming Nickelodeon says, hey, AEG, we have a tour with Jojo Siwa. And they're like, great, let's make it happen.
And then you worked for AEG. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you put it together. Do you get a budget? And this is what you have, or no? You just like, this is the vision. This is what we're gonna do. I need this many dancers. Blah 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 blah. Like you and JoJo just worked on all that.
It's more about this is what we want to do. This is the amount of dancers. This is the idea of the show. And then they'll say, well, this is the budget.
Okay.
And then you have to decide, okay, what can stay, what can go, what can be made, what can't.
Right.
And that's how you
Right.
do it. Yeah.
Like how many rhinestones are going to be on that piano?
Rhinestone down.
Yeah.
All the money goes to the rhinestone piano.
Well, you've done up a few pianos in your time
Yes,
with
I
all the
have.
Gaga tours. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my
But no,
God.
it was.
You
but it
didn't
was
need. You
absolutely
didn't need a glue
fantastic.
gun though when you went to work.
No.
No, you had people.
No. Yeah,
People.
they had the team.
They had the team.
Yep.
Oh, I know. I know
Jess had
some of the people
team.
that were on the
Jess
team.
Had the team.
Jess had every friend and relative from Nebraska here gluing shit on that stuff. I know.
But it
Gluing
was
stones on that stuff.
It was an amazing tour, though. I
It
think
was.
every
It-
night.
And
I think that
I
she
loved
just-
it. It was fun. It was great.
Yeah.
That thing on her face just kept getting bigger and bigger and
Everything
bigger. And I
was-
was like, oh,
The
my
first
God.
time she showed me, I was like, yes. Like, what is it? And I love it. I lived for it.
Okay.
It did keep getting bigger, but it
Yeah.
got more creative.
Okay. I just like to tease her. Okay. And then she's a beautiful girl, though.
100%.
Like I think people just see the ponytail and the bows and the star in her face or the heart or whatever. And it's like without any of that, she's a really pretty little girl. Right.
100%.
Yeah.
What
Okay.
I-
So you had the dancers. They danced. You choreographed it never stopped dancing. For those of you that didn't see it, shame on you. But it from the beginning to the end, nobody ever stopped moving. It was constant. If they
Yes.
were on stage, they were moving.
100%.
It was fun. It was great.
The most props I've ever used in a show.
Yes.
I
There-
mean, next
yeah.
to Lady Gaga's Born This Way, we had, I think, 26 maybe props or things that came in and out. But JoJo's show for the dance community, I think was so, what's the word? They went into it thinking like, oh, it's going to be a kid's show.
Yes.
No, those dancers had bats, balls, mittens. They had shields that looked like candy,
Yeah. No. Yeah,
desserts.
yes.
They were skating with those Heelys. I mean, they had props down, but it was everything.
So before the tour,
Yeah.
you did a little showcase
What is our showcase?
in Burbank. You did it
Oh yes.
for friends and family
Yes,
of the
Friends and
dancers
Family night. Yes.
to come and see what's happening.
Yes.
So I'm invited. We could talk about this now
yes,
because
we
it's
can.
over.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm
Oh, my
invited.
God.
I go to the show. I'm in my wheelchair now
Yep.
at this point.
Yes.
I'm handicapped at this point. And I drive, it's like driving to Vegas from Santa Monica, driving across the country to get to Burbank. And I go and I'm asking everybody, where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Right. So I this little girl is like not looking where she's going. She walks out of this, I don't know, it wasn't a trailer, but she walks out of this room, this door, and across, I almost hit her, like hit the brakes. She's walking across, then somebody else is falling behind her. They have stuff in their hands. And then I park and I go in and I see dancers. They're going into the room. I'm like, this is it. I go in, I wheel in, I get in the corner of the room and I sit. And I'm looking at these dancers and they're like, they have a lot of tattoos. I just don't think these dancers are what Richy and Jojo would hire for this. I don't get it. Well, I was in Justin Bieber's rehearsal studio. And Justin Bieber, these were his dancers that I don't even know who's the choreographer, was doing the tour. And they're all coming up to me and getting their picture taken, and I'm smiling. And so, anyway, where's JoJo? They're like, JoJo, what? This is Justin Bieber's tour. And I was like, okay, sorry. Zoom, out I go. I didn't even wait for see Justin Bieber. I was like, I'm in the wrong place. So then I go out, and then I'm going to each place, and I can't find. So I finally get there, and now I see pink and yellow and orange and purple, and I'm in the right place. And I see wholesome, smiley, perfect teeth kids for JoJo's show, right? But I get a big hug and kiss from Richy Jackson, and then he has to buzz out. I'm in the right place. Richy comes over, Abby, hug, kiss, always welcoming me, so kind. And he's like, I gotta go. I go, what do you mean you have to go? He's like, I have another rehearsal down the street or down the hall, like another room. Out, you go outside and you walk down a little bit, and there's another rehearsal. I go, well, I want to go with you, and I don't want to be here with this. I want to go with you. And he's like, well, I can't. I got to go. It's a top secret project. I said, well, I almost ran over Ariana Grande in the parking lot. That's who the little girl was that ran in front of my car that I almost hit. So, Richie, you tell the story from your side. Tell our listeners what happened.
So, all of a sudden, I'm leaving JoJo's rehearsal. I see Abby Lee Miller. We hug. We do our thing. How you been? And I'm going to rehearsal in the next stage over because it's rehearsals for Rain on Me with Gaga.
Right.
Which was
Ariana.
not announced, which no one knew about. No one knew that.
But I knew he was
Yeah.
going to Gaga's rehearsal.
You knew, yeah.
The other little girl was just, I just almost hit her with the car. That was it. Because I was looking at the room numbers, the door numbers, and she should look both ways. Okay, go ahead.
So it was supposed to be a top secret moment. Like, no one knows, lips are sealed.
I mean, no one in the world knows.
At
No
all.
one.
No one.
And then next thing I know,
The next day,
the next day, was it the next day or was it the same day?
It was the same day.
Yeah, because
It was-
So
Okay.
next thing I know, hours later, I get called in by the bodyguards, Gaga's. And they're like, who is this? What is this? Why is this up? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, who's your friend? I don't really know what they're talking about until I keep watching the video. I'm like, oh my God. Oh no. Oh no.
Because this was completely like there was rumors that Gaga and Ariana were going to collaborate for a song. No one knew what, it was all out there, but not really official. So Abby was all excited and decided to post, because she went to see, a rehearsal, saw a friend, and she was like, oh, 1 second I bumped into Ariana Grande, then I was going to see Jojo, and I saw my friend Richie, and then the Gaga fans are psychopaths. Love you all, I'm one of you. But they put 2 and 2 together. And then they're like, "Oh, Abby Lee Miller just confirmed they're working on, yeah." So,
And I'm like, no.
yeah, in a way, we all want to say thank you to Abby Lee for that, but also,
No, not
So,
right now. Not
Richie,
today.
Not yet.
Richie got caught on the carpet because his friend in the wheelchair knew that Ariana Grande and Lady Gaga were rehearsing.
Oh my God. But
And I wanted to go watch that instead of what I was there to watch. Yes.
But you watched JoJo, who went
I watched
in.
JoJo and the dancers, and they were just, they were dancing for their lives. They were, and they wanted to make you proud, Richie.
Yes.
And they wanted to make JoJo proud, and their dance teachers and their parents, and it was great. And the
100%.
Heelys and the fun, and it was very wholesome.
And I will say this. I worked with kids, and at the time, how old was JoJo? JoJo must have been
16,
17, 16,
17, 16. Prior to her, I've worked with child artists, and what I will say is that she just had so much control. She just knew a lot. It wasn't like it was like a child artist until she was a child. And I will say probably because of growing up in this business, doing Dance Moms, having, a mom like Jess, it wasn't like I was working with a child. And I
Right.
want to give her that because I've worked with child artists and it's just been like, these are children.
Right.
But not with her. Like
She
still
knew. She was in
knew what
control. She
wanted.
was respectful. She knew
Yes.
what she was doing. Yes.
100%. I will give her that all day long.
Well, she would go into those meetings with Nickelodeon, and she ran the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Not her parents, not her manager. She was in charge.
100%.
Right.
Thought that
Yeah.
was
And
amazing.
that's one thing I regret while she was doing Dance Moms and she was in Pittsburgh and we were on that bus for hours. All the other kids were playing with their hair and talking about boys or movie stars or whatever. And she was in that computer shooting those YouTube videos, uploading it. I should have
Yep.
been sitting next to her.
Yeah.
And uploading my own YouTube videos because that she was already making money on that and I didn't even know what that was,
Smart.
Yes, she was
Yes.
always, all I can hear her when I think about those days is, what's the Wi-Fi password? What's the Wi-Fi password? She would walk up and down the bus to all the adults in the front. I need your Wi-Fi. Do you have a hotspot? I need a hotspot. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, sit down and shut up, kid.
That's because she was making those moves, Abby.
She was. And she could edit it and do it and color it and everything.
all day.
Yes. All right. So,
let's quickly go over let's touch on the Lady Gaga episode of Abby's Ultimate
yeah.
really
So-
fast.
Yes.
Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition.
Yes.
We're in LA. We're shooting this show. We're dealing with all these producers and people that don't know dance. They don't know, can I say jack shit? They don't know jack shit about dance. And we're there and you're taking Lady Gaga around the world, and I've been doing this for years and years and years, dealing with these same people.
Mhm.
So I don't take any of their crap. I've had it. I'm over it.
You're done.
And next thing I know, Lady Gaga is on the screen. And Richie made that happen.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I spoke to her. I was like, listen, I'm doing this show with Abby Lee Miller. And I was like, it's a show with
She
kids.
said, who? Go ahead.
It's a show with kids. And I was like, can you just give them just words of encouragement? It's like, it's literally an episode about you and like inspired by you. And obviously she loved that. And of course she loves to inspire people. So just talked to her management. They got me, she shot a video for us and I got it.
I
Got it on
know.
the show.
And so we had Lady Gaga as like a guest star, via
Yes.
satellite
That was so cool.
on the show. And then every number that happened was inspired
Yes.
by a Lady Gaga song.
100%.
Yeah.
Including your hair that day.
Yes, with the soda cans.
Yes, with the soda can.
Some
Looks from telephone. Woo!
Woo! I did it. Yes.
And
yes.
even the first challenge, because you remember there would always be a challenge in the beginning.
I remember.
Yes.
Stakes are high.
You had them, the skill that they had to show off was individuality, which I thought was really appropriate for a Lady Gaga week.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, you had to ask the contestants, what makes you special? And who do you think the first person was that you kicked out? Who do you think?
Jojo.
Yes. Yes. Jojo,
So-
I think because she was showing her individuality probably the most
right.
was maybe where it didn't click
Fly?
or didn't
Chopped.
fly,
Chopped.
Chop
as-
down.
yeah.
So
But then-
she was probably loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, well, Richie, you taught a combo too.
Yeah, I taught her a combo. I taught them all a combo.
So I think that was, that was probably why, because maybe JoJo just didn't get the combo as well as everybody else, and then you just said,
Right. She picks up. She just makes it her own. And
Yeah,
you don't.
yeah.
When you have
This
a
is the-
professional choreographer, you do what
I
you're
bet
told.
she would love to talk about this
Okay,
too.
but this is the
Yeah.
shade. You ready for the shade of it
Yes.
all? This is the shade of it all.
The shade.
The shade of it all is this. So I taught them a combination, which was more, in my opinion, more. It definitely wasn't hip hop. It was just a little bit of everything. But I love that Abby got to judge them doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught it, but Abby was like, "Okay, I want to judge them doing it." So when you shot JoJo first, I was like, "She's doing it." She's doing it. And Abby's like, "No, she's off, gone." Poor JoJo. JoJo Nash.
Well, I see her on TikTok and her Instagram now, and she's taking tap.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why she didn't take tap when she was 3, like everybody else, but she's taking tap. So I think she's going to hear the music better that she taps
She hears
now.
it good now. That was so funny. Abby was like, "I'm doing the cutting." JoJo,
Gone.
you're gone.
God,
Yeah.
I was like, she showed the most individual.
I know, but I can't even look at her one more time doing it in front of her. She was probably like, nobody else can
Well,
do
I
whatever
just think
it is.
maybe she was maybe a beat behind compared to the others, and
Oh,
she
it would
was
have
the
been a
first.
beat ahead.
Well, she probably was the
behind.
first person you noticed off in that
Yes,
regard,
yeah.
But
At least she stood out.
She
she stood out. She stood out, and here,
There it is.
there it is. But
Well, sometimes when you have the power, you just get to make those decisions, even if they don't make
Yeah.
sense.
then Gianna, who was one of the top 3, got to
Yes.
decide what I believe everybody was doing, or I don't know if she just decided
she
hers.
got to pick what her number would be based off an outfit chart that we had for them.
Oh,
which
it
were all
was-
Gaga inspired
can you
outfits.
believe the dumb crap we did on that show? Like, how did they come up with this stuff? Okay,
was
so the winner,
good.
this kid gets to do this, and she gets to decide what everyone's doing. It's like, this is a television show. Aren't the costumes made already for the size of the bodies? Like, come on.
But at that time, Abby, it was everything.
It was.
Everything.
It was.
Well, I know when you give kids, we were watched back something the other day, and I let 2 kids pick who they wanted in their trio with them.
Yes.
Woo! And that stirred up some trouble. So I know as soon as you let a kid pick something,
It's
then those
on.
mothers are like, "Rawr."
They
Yes.
are ferocious behind
Ferocious. Now there was another little girl from Abby's Ultimate that I think you've worked with or hired.
there. Trinity?
Trinity, yes.
Yes. I just hired her for Chromatica. This recent tour.
She was one of the
Trinity
14.
was
Yes,
on
she
the tour.
was.
She was one of the 14.
Wow.
We
Yes,
should
she
get her in
was.
here.
Yeah,
Yes,
well, we
she
recently
was.
saw Trinity. She was at Debbie Allen's studio opening, I believe. When
Oh.
you saw her, you got a
That
picture
was
with her.
2 years ago, but yeah, okay.
I mean, well, yeah, recently. I keep, time is crazy, but that's crazy that she was on the
I think
Chromatica
it's
tour.
so nuts that we did that show and like Yeah, Trinity I've worked
That's
with.
great.
I mean,
There
obviously
was a
JoJo.
girl, Allie, a taller
I remember
girl.
Allie.
Allie.
Yeah,
She owns a studio.
She does.
Yes, she owns her own studio up like an hour and a half out of the city.
Allie
She's
with the
doing
big
great.
hair.
Yes.
Yes, she
yes.
was on this
Allie?
season. She was on this season, season 2.
Yes.
Yeah, she came. I was teaching a class out there, and she brought some of her kids, and she came and
Really?
hugged me and kissed me and thanked me, and she was lovely.
How is she now?
She was great. She was like a taller girl.
Yeah.
She's great. She has a studio.
How old is she
20
now?
something, I guess.
Did she learn anything from the show? Like, did she grow from
Oh,
the show?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. She said it was like the best experience of her life being on it and watching us work and how it worked and how we
Yes.
picked kids and didn't pick kids
Okay.
and that kind of things and that kind of stuff. And now she can see it in her own students. And
Wow.
yeah, so that was that. And then McKaylee, the girl that won,
Won season 2.
She won season
I
two.
know I'm trying to
she
place
had
her
dark
face.
hair, thin legs. She did the hoop stuff.
Perfect, not perfect.
No, not Kalani.
How did
Next,
Kalani
close
not
to
win?
perfect. How did Kalani not win?
How did that not happen?
This was McKaylee.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
She was close to perfect, but not. Yeah.
Kalani's all I think about. I think.
You know what it was
I
though?
know,
It was
isn't it?
because it was for a ballet scholarship. Joffrey. So I
Right.
think that was just what went in. Now, can I ask, how did the three of you, the judges, pick the winner? Like actually, or was it just you, Abby? Like how can we? What did the
well-
show pick? That's a good question that I think nobody really knows.
Yeah, I wanted Kalani to win, and then she fell on her butt during the cowboy
Yeah.
musical theater, cowboy, jazz, contemporary, acro. I don't know what it was, but and I can't dish the choreographers because we had Tony winning, not Tony, we had Emmy winning choreographers on the show
Mhm.
working with these people, with these kids.
Yes.
But they don't always choreograph for competitions around the country. That's what they didn't get.
Boom.
So they're choreographing like for a show, which isn't always a competitive
Yes.
number. So
Yeah.
you have this kid doing something crazy and fun and cute, and the costume's great, but it's really not showing off the child's best assets to win a competition.
100%.
And that was part of the problem. We would have been
Mhm.
better off like with Gianna and other people that worked for me or worked for you or whatever. Yes. So yeah, that was the problem.
That's why I saved Chloe.
Yes, because it was the number that she had that wasn't working, not her.
Yeah, that's actually why I saved her. I said because this wasn't fair. It just was the number. There was like a heart. It was like a heart, but they also had headphones controlled by the heart. I don't know what it was. It was like a conflicting world, and it wasn't necessarily her. Yes, she had things she needed to fix 100%, but it was also like an interesting number. I feel like they didn't even get what they were doing,
Agreed.
and I was just like, I can't let her go home.
Because of that.
If it was a number that we got and it just wasn't executed by her, okay, I'd be like, you know what? Sorry,
Yeah.
the theme was werewolves and you just didn't do it.
No, right.
But that one of the whole show that night, it just
Well, I think a lot of that happened. And what the world needs to know is these kids learn these numbers in like an hour, one day, and then the next day they go back in. They're supposed to know it, like on their own time, like homework. They go back in, and then they have to do it again.
100%.
And then you're on stage doing it in a costume that maybe doesn't fit you right,
Yep.
on a floor that's slick and slippery
Yes.
and has a curved side, and you're dancing over there, you're dancing here, and it was just, oh my God.
It was mayhem.
So
Right.
more pressure than Dance Moms,
But
in your opinion? Or
Yeah,
because there was
because-
mama drama
No.
too, you know?
because Dance Moms, you were part of that group, and that group worked together week after week, so you got into sync, and we could repeat things that we used in a number 6 weeks ago. We could put the same leap, roll to the floor, leg,
Yes.
whatever in it, so you knew that part. Yeah, so these kids were just pulled in 50 directions, and then they had their mother screaming at them the whole time too,
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
You're trying to learn routines, you're trying to get in the character, you the outfits. Like, it was a lot. And so, that's why I saved her, is because that number in particular was just a little like, I'm not even sure if they know what's even happening.
What is she doing now? Do you even know?
I don't know. The last time I saw her, I think it might have been on TikTok, but I think she's doing something with hair care.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe, if you're watching or listening, reach out. We'd
Maybe
love to
we
have you
need
on.
an Abby's Ultimate Dance competition reunion.
That would be great.
That would be amazing.
That
That
would
would
be
be fun
awesome.
to see what all those kids are up to.
100%.
I
Yes,
think so.
please.
And then we can get Richie, Abby,
Robin,
Rochelle.
Yeah.
Please. That'd
Yeah.
be amazing.
That we should do that.
We should do that.
Okay.
Like tomorrow.
I always get emails and direct messages online from kids and parents asking if I can record a short video, wishing someone a happy birthday, a milestone congratulations on a special achievement, or even just my advice before performing at a competition. With Cameo, my followers, the ALDC elites, have the chance to connect with me directly. Looking to have Abby Lee's last word as you enter an exciting moment of your life? Maybe put you, your friend, or a special someone at the top of the pyramid? Or do you want them at the very bottom? Anything is possible on Cameo. Connect with me from anywhere on the globe at cameo.com/TheRealAbbyLee. That's cameo.com/TheRealAbbyLee. The sky's the limit on Cameo. So now, what are you doing right now? Like, you're sitting here with me, and I'm sure you have a million other things you could be doing today. It's Pride Week. It's this, or
It is Pride
it's
Week.
Pride Week, Pride Month, Pride Year.
So I've been working with Idina Mendel.
I know. And for all of you that don't know who Idina Mendel is, she is from Wicked.
and
you know
Rent.
her. Well, Rent, originally Rent.
Yep.
So can I tell my story?
Of course.
Okay. So she was married to, help me, my buddy, my friend,
Hold
Tay
on.
Diggs.
Yeah, but
Okay. So she was married to Tay Diggs during Rent,
Yep.
right? Now, jump ahead. She is the lead in Wicked, blowing the world away. I mean, the New York is upside down and over the rainbow
Yes.
with all this. And my student, Mark Myers, is the dance supervisor for Wicked. Well, he was in the original
Got
cast,
it.
the Broadway show.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, and then I had another girl, Asmaret was in it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this story's more about Tay Diggs than it
Okay,
is
go
about.
ahead.
Than
Let
it
us
is about.
know.
Okay, so quickly. So Mark graduates from high school, moves to New York City, and is living with another one of my students, Heather Snyder.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody lived in this apartment on 51st Street between 8th and 9th Ave.
Okay.
Okay, I should have bought it years ago. So every one of my kids has lived there. So he's staying with them. He's staying with Heather. Okay, and he's trying to make it on Broadway, and he was in Footloose on Broadway. Okay, so
Word.
I get the phone call. Tay Diggs is in the apartment. I'm like, what? Tay Diggs is in the apartment, Abby. He's in the apartment. Tay Diggs. I said, Mark, you know that Tay Diggs is friends with Heather. They were in Tokyo Disney. You know that his first job was at Busch Gardens dancing and singing on the stage at the theme park with Jennifer Snyder,
Word.
Heather's older sister. You have heard all these stories in the car with me. Why do you not know this? Were you sleeping the whole time I was talking to you for 10 years of your life? You've heard these stories. So Tay Diggs is in the apartment talking to Heather, who he met in Japan, like he does Busch Gardens. Then he goes to Japan, meets Jennifer's little sister,
Okay.
Heather, and he's there in New York and he's with them and he's telling them that he's doing this movie. And the reason he's in New York is he's working with this dialect coach.
Okay.
And he's doing this little movie called How Stella Got Her Groove Back
Okay. Yes.
with 911.
Oh, Angela
Oh,
Bassett.
Angela
Angela
Bassett.
Bassett, my friend. She's so nice to me all the time. So he's doing a little movie. He has a part in a little movie called How Stella Got Her Groove Back
Mhm.
with Angela Bassett.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's telling them that it's about Angela Bassett, and she comes and she meets this young kid and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, wait a minute, you're the kid. And he's like, yeah. So that was his big break. Now we jump ahead, and this same little kid, Mark Myers, is in Wicked. And so every night he leaves the theater and there's Tay Diggs standing there because he's waiting for his wife to come
Yes.
out. Yes. So now I'm living in LA. I'm out here and I'm at some awards show, some whatever it was, billboards or this or the Grammys or whatever. And there's Tay Diggs.
Yes.
And he looks at me like, and I said, hello, I'm having, he's like, yeah, you're on that show with those kids. They're amazing. And I said, yeah, but that's not how you know me. And he's like, what? And I said, you know me because Jennifer Snyder is my student and Heather's, and he's like, oh my goodness. And then it went like all through the kids.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very small world out there.
Yes,
so
it is.
you never know who you're going to work with next. So that's why you got to kiss butt and be sweet and polite to everyone.
Be nice to everybody.
Right. So Idina, well, then she divorced him. So that's over. That's the end of my story there. But then we jump ahead further.
Yes.
And she does a Broadway show called If Then.
Okay.
If/then.
Yep.
And Mark Myers was the associate choreographer.
Mark Myers?
Yes. So that's how that all transpired. So
Wow.
now that's my connection
Okay.
to Idina Mendel. And
Love.
you just got to work with her.
Yes.
You know what? I want to tell you, I saw a clip of it, like a second, literally a second, and I went, Richie did that. I saw one move, I said, of the dancers, I said, Richie did that.
Yes.
So tell us about the moonwalk.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're in rehearsal and we're preparing for the Pride shows. And I don't know how we got to this topic, but I was just talking about Michael Jackson and you know, like when we do her music videos, like we really have to like go for it, like Michael, you know what I mean? And she was like, well, I can moonwalk. And I was like, wait, what? She's like, I can moonwalk. I was like, okay.
Because
You know,
everybody says they can moonwalk, but they
everyone
can't
says
really
they
do
can
it.
moonwalk. And so she was like, no, I can't. I was like, okay, you know, let me see it. Abby Lee, when Idina Menzel said everyone scoot out. And after that, she did take off her shoes because it was a little bit of a rough floor. But I
Okay.
was like, let me give her this because, you know, can she even moonwalk?
Right. Let's see. We need her to do something here. Yeah.
Abby Lee, everyone cleared the floor. And Mama said, all right, here I go. And she said,
So she get,
and
yeah,
then she hit
did.
this turn out of it. And I was like, oh, you're official. You can actually moonwalk. And she was
Right.
like, yeah. I said, we're doing this.
Oh, the crowd probably went insane.
She's like, wait, what do you mean? She's like, I was like, no. We're doing this in the show. I was like, I will build a moment where these dancers come over to you while you're singing this bridge and this song. They
Right.
will take you out of your shoes. You will have on rainbow socks and you're going to moonwalk. I said, because no one right now that I know that's a female
is doing that.
can moonwalk and is doing that. And she was like, okay. And so at the Pride show, our first Pride show, the
She
part of
did
the
it.
song came and she did it. And it was everything.
But she was great to work with.
Amazing to work with.
She knows her music.
She knows her
Yeah,
music.
yeah.
It's pop music. It's new music. I love it.
Right.
It's she's still theater, but now we get to like see this other side of her. Love working with her. So cool, so nice. She comes in and sings down. It's so funny because I know like the songs and I'm like humming them to her, but I'm also like, Richard, you're humming to Idina Menzel who can sing down. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Love working with her though.
Well, that's great. Okay. So what else is happening right now? And then I didn't want to take you back to being a little kid.
Work. Outside of that, I've been doing some commercial work. I've been doing a lot of teaching classes. I've been working with an artist named Danny Lay, getting her album and getting her video together. So it's been good. I'm also taking on like new artists. There's a new artist I'm working with. Her name is Frawley. She's fantastic.
Frawley.
I just met her about a week and a half ago, and so we've been doing some sessions to just get her ready. What I loved about working with her is that I asked her, "What do you want? What do you really want from this?" And she says, "I want to be a pop star, and I want all the pop star things. I want the dance routines, the songs, the outfits. I want to go for it." So it's been good. So I've just been like workshopping her, getting her some movement down, seeing what works on her, what doesn't, and this is how it goes. This is how I start with everybody.
Okay. And how do people find you for that? Like, how does this young Frawley pop star in the making, how does she contact Richy Jackson and say, hey, you're my guy?
The labels contact my agent, or they'll contact me on my Instagram, which is at Richy Squirrel.
Yeah,
And
so
that's how
at-
it usually happens.
So at Richy Squirrel
At Richy Squirrel.
with the finger twirl, so their label contacts you.
Yes.
So these are not kids at home that think you can sing a song. These are people that already have a label. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
And now they need the show. They need the platform. They need the production element
Yes.
to actually be the pop star.
And to just give these artists a foundation to find out who they are before they get out in front of people. I think that what's interesting now is that a lot of record labels don't pay anymore for artist development. But I feel like you're sending your artists into the ring with Mike Tyson in the box, and you haven't trained them. They're gonna get knocked out. Like they gotta.
Great analogy.
They need training. So, and also I do take on independent artists. I have a client now. He's a DJ/dancer,
Interesting.
and his name is DJ Auroras. And what he does is he DJs, but he also dances. So I just did his music video. He's not signed, but he's independent. But he still is like, I need the foundation. I want to look a certain way. And I know I need the quality. So it's whoever shows up that wants to actually go for it.
Okay.
I'll work with them.
Interesting.
Mhm.
All right.
Because
right.
people don't realize that not only are you a choreographer, but you're a creative director.
Yes.
And it's the whole package.
It's the whole package. So it's not just steps. It is about the entire show. And also because where we're at in the record business right now, it's like either you're independent and you're trying to make it or you're signed.
Right.
So now I've even had to open up my mind and just say, well, again, whoever wants to come play ball, let's get it, because it's just a different time now. Not everyone's going to get signed that blows up.
No, and not everyone needs to sometimes. You
And
can
that too.
do it on your own. Years ago, you couldn't do it on your own. There was no
100%.
outlet for that. Now you put your music on your phone, and somebody somewhere might see it, and the next thing you know, the whole world knows your name.
Yep.
Yes. Is
Different
that a
game.
little bit of Ed Sheeran? Not Ed Sheeran. Who's the other kid that came from nothing?
Shawn Mendes.
Yes, there you go. Shawn Mendes.
A bunch of people now.
Yes.
But Abby, you're also a creative director too. That's why some people don't realize why you were so invested in your name on things, because you are the creative
Well,
director
right.
of the
They
Abbey
give
Lee
you an
Dance Company.
idea, and you're like, that sounds great, but how do you put that on a dance for 2 minutes and put it on the stage and make people get what you're doing?
Yes.
You're talking about some movie from 1935. The kids don't know that. They don't get that, Helen Keller. Okay. They probably read about that in
Yes.
school, or the Diary of Anne Frank. Everybody should know that. That's history. That you can get in 2 minutes
Yes.
on a stage in a dance competition.
100%.
But this other stuff that they used to give me, I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen. Now we have Richy Jackson, choreographer, Lady Gaga. We have Richy Jackson, creative director, all these new artists. Where did Richy Jackson come from? Where did he start? Where was Tondu?
Start was in Fairfield, California, a very mixed town, all races, all vibes. California, and also heavily involved in music. So I played music. I played the drums 4th grade up.
Fourth
Percussion
grade.
captain, yep, 4th grade.
So when I do those auditions and I ask kids to raise their hand if they play an instrument and nobody puts their hand up anymore, it kills me. I played the clarinet.
Everyone, please put your child in band. Please let them learn something, a wind instrument, percussion, anything, just something band. But
And
fourth
learn to
grade,
read music.
learn to read music, learn to interpret music by playing it. So 4th grade on up, percussion captain, jazz band, concert band, symphonic band. I was in marching band. I was a drum major. So
You
band
were
was
it out
You were
there.
drum
Dang!
major.
I
That's
was
awesome.
the leader. Yes.
Oh, I bet you put a show on.
I sure did. So 7th, 8th grade, I went to Grange, the Grange Grizzlies. Now, we had a rival band named Sullivan,
Okay.
the Sullivan Celtics, and they always beat us at everything.
This
It
is
was-
raw. Listen to his history. He knows everything about this. This meant something to his childhood.
It meant everything to me.
Okay.
So we were Grange. They were Sullivan. They beat us at everything. Especially, we used to have these marching band competitions on the weekends. So on
Really?
Saturdays, it was
Instead of a
full
dance
out.
competition, it was the
It
whole
was,
deal.
It was
okay.
marching band, pageantry, which is like ID shields, flags, rifles. There was even like a drumline competition. So
Right, the whole. We call that, in Pennsylvania and the East Coast, we call it like the band front. On
Yep.
the football game, halftime show,
Yes.
the whole deal. The color guards out there, the
Everybody.
drums, right? Okay, and then they have competitions.
But this was a street competition.
Ooh,
So what would happen is that like you show up to there's an actual line on the street. You show up to this line, and on the side is like basically like a row full of judges sitting here to judge you as your band goes across them.
oh, okay.
So this happens all day. There's probably at least 40 to 50 bands lined up to cross this
Whoa.
line,
Okay.
be judged, and then to get a trophy at the end of the day. So long
Right.
story short, Sullivan would beat us at everything. It was always Grange number 2, Sullivan number 1.
And this
So,
was the band
junior
stuff
high
or
school.
football, everything.
This is just marching band
They beat you all the time.
all the time.
Okay.
And so this year, though, this particular
Okay,
performance,
we don't like them.
I was the drum major.
Okay.
It was my day. And so I do my thing. You know I do my thing. I'm leading
can't-
the band. I'm doing these little cool tosses. There's like a behind the back drop. I'm doing all this cool stuff. And so I'm like, okay, here we go. So now we're at the ceremony. Every other category. Grange second, Sullivan first. Color guard, Grange second,
and you know what
first.
second means.
Yeah,
Second is the first to lose.
Yeah, the first to lose. So now they come to my category, drum major, and in second place, Sullivan. Everyone gasps because no one even knows who the winners are going to be. We're gagging because we never heard them say second for that particular school. Abby Lee Miller. And I remember my band director said, if anyone ever wins anything, no dancing, no dancing, no dancing on the field. I was like, okay. First place, Grange, me. I was the first one to win, to beat Sullivan.
I got chills just hearing you say
I walked out on that that field, and I turned it into my dance floor. I danced for my life. I picked up my mace, which is what it's called, and then I had to salute the judge to get my trophy. Done. I won. I was so happy. It was life-changing for me.
it was. It
Yes,
was.
it really
'cause
was
you
truly
knew-
life-changing for
You
me.
knew I could do this.
I was like, I
could
can do
this.
this.
Yes.
So then after that, I participated in what they called drum major competitions in high school. And so in high school, I was ranked number 1 in Northern California, and I got 3rd in the state as a drum major. It
Wow.
was just like
Okay.
separate drum major competitions. So I was heavily into band. I also danced. I was always dancing. And what happened is I actually ended up dancing for a dance group called Mac 10 back then. We were
Mac
like
10.
Mac 10.
That's like the Tom Cruise Top Gun.
Like Mac, like MAC 10.
Isn't it Mac 10?
Maverick.
Mac
Top
10, but
Top Gun Maverick.
no,
What are you-
but the word Mac 10 is when you fly faster than the speed of sound or something.
Yeah, but we spelled it like MAC, Mac, like
Like
Mac
Mac
10, not
yeah.
like Mach. You
Oh,
remember
Mach 10. It's
Yeah.
Mach 10.
Oh.
I'm just an idiot.
Like I'm not the one to know.
Okay.
So,
So Mac 10.
was in this dance group, Mac 10.
Were there 10
and-
people?
No, there was 8 of us.
Okay.
And they saw me dancing because my mom used to teach cheerleading at this particular school, Fairfield High School. And so my mom had a cheerleading squad, and I would also work with them too. So when I was like 13, I was like choreographing them.
Okay.
So that was the first time I was doing choreography, but I loved dance. And
So we share the same age
Yes,
thing. Not
doing-
not now. We're not the same age now, but when we were younger, we started around the same
choreographing.
age. Yeah.
So after that, the group saw me dancing at the school and they wanted me to join the group. So I was in the group for about 3 years because they were all in high school. I was only 13.
Okay.
So after that, then we all auditioned for MC Hammer and he had a group called 357. They had a big audition in San Francisco and we, Mac 10, we all went to that audition.
Okay.
So they ended up picking my good friend, his name is Ed Moore, and they ended up picking me.
Okay.
And about 6 other people from like different like crews, and
Okay.
so they went to do the music video, but I couldn't go because I was too young. They couldn't pay for like child care and someone to watch over me because they shot the video in L.A.
Yeah. So you needed a chaperone. You needed
Boom.
a
And they
teacher
were like,
on
"We're not
set
doing
and
all that."
Yeah. Right.
So that was the last time I saw my friend Ed. Long story short,
Oh.
I graduated Fairfield High School and then I moved.
Well, Ed
to-
went and did it,
So Ed went and did it.
and then went on from there.
And went on from there to
Okay.
dance with MC Hammer, Backstreet Boys, all these groups. He like lived in LA. Never
Okay.
never saw him again.
Okay.
After
If you're out
graduating
there,
high
Ed.
school. Hey Ed.
Yeah.
After graduating high school, I then went to Tuskegee University in Alabama. I got
And
a
Full scholarship
Got a scholarship.
for the drum major.
Well, no, I got an academic scholarship.
Oh.
I actually went to that school. It was a historically black college, and I wanted to be a lawyer. It was all about law. I was like, I want to go to law school. You do the crime, you pay the time. Like, that was my thing.
Right. I know.
And
I did. I paid the time. I'm not sure if I really did the crime. It's still to this day, I would rebut that whole thing. But I did the time. Way too much time.
You're still doing the time.
I'm still look at this
still
chair.
doing the
Life
time.
sentence. Still doing the time.
Oh my God.
Okay, you didn't even think about it when you
I
said
didn't
that.
even think about it, but
Okay, but wait. So I know my mom had her studios in Miami, but I know that everybody that went to University of Miami and Florida, the whole band,
yeah.
the entire band, the baton twirlers, everybody was on a full ride.
And they probably were.
And probably still till this day. I mean, that drum major thing was a big deal for scholarships, but you got an academic.
100%,
You didn't.
But I got an academic
Okay,
scholarship.
all right.
So I'm now in my dorm room watching MTV.
Okay.
I'm watching Aaliyah's Are You That Somebody music video comes
Okay.
on. I'd never seen it. And as I'm watching it, I lean in closer because I see my friend, Ed. Oh my God, he's dancing with Aaliyah. This was a Thursday.
Ed Moore.
Yes, Ed
Okay.
Moore. This is a Thursday afternoon. I called my mom that day and I said, I'm out of here. And she was like, what? I was like, I'm leaving. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I want to go to LA. I want to dance. She's like, well, when are you going to leave? I was like, Monday. This was a Thursday. I left Monday. Middle of the semester.
Packed
I
up
did
all
not
your
care.
stuff.
I packed it all up. I said, it's not like I can't dance. Let me at least go to LA and find out and try.
Right, because this school's going to be here
100%.
or another school.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
then that was that. I flew back home. I worked for a year, saved some money, and moved to LA. And everything else is history. I'm so glad I did it.
So when was the moment that you met Gaga?
I met Gaga in 2007, but I came to LA in the 99.
So you met her before everything even took off.
So I met her. No, so when I met her in 2007, she was still on MySpace. Like
Yeah.
it was before. Yes, I see what you're saying.
You mean
Before anything came out.
MySpace, the computer thing?
Yep.
Oh, wow. So you moved to LA.
Yeah.
You save your money. You move to LA.
Yeah.
You show up in LA. Then what?
I show up in
You
LA.
get an apartment.
I don't know anybody. Where is everybody? Where's a dance school?
Well, where the hell is that Ed Moore to help you out?
He's on tour.
Oh, okay.
And back then, the cell phones weren't pop locking and dropping. You guys
No.
have it so good today.
Yeah,
we
I know.
didn't have
You
it
know
like
where
that.
everybody is.
We
I
had,
know.
We had
When
what,
the Popo was looking for
payphones.
me, I was like, where?
We had-
Just look at my cell phone. Look at my Instagram. It's kind of, it tells you where I am. Go ahead.
So I was hopping on buses every day trying to find a dance studio. I lived in
To take class.
Yeah, to take class. I was living in Hollywood. I didn't know where a dance studio was. And then one day I got on the wrong bus. And it took me to this strange land called the Valley. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Going
By the mall that
going
started
up
it
and
all.
over that hill and seeing Universal, never really like seeing it, and then going into the valley, like, oh my God, where am I going? And it took me onto Ventura, like Ventura and Vineland, and I saw dancers coming out of this building. You know, when you see a dancer, you know it's a dancer.
Oh, with the bag and the feet.
The whole thing.
You know, and they're sweaty.
I
Yeah.
rang that bus bell. I jumped off that bus so fast, and that was the first time I saw dancers in LA. Found a studio, and that's actually when it all changed because I started taking classes there. And someone saw me dance there. His name is Swoop, actually. Hey, Swoop, it's been a long time.
Swoop.
But he was like, do you want to dance for Will Smith at the Grammys?
Wow.
I was like, I sure do.
So you didn't go to an open call
Nope.
that you were asked, you want to do this?
He was
Oh,
like, yo,
God.
I like how you dance. And at the time, I remember I didn't even have an agent. I was trying to get an agent. I was giving them my videotapes. They were like, we want to come see you in a class. Next thing I know, as soon as I got that job,
Everybody was calling you.
yep. So that's how I got my agent.
And who did you sign with? Who are you
At
with?
the time, it was called Bobby Ball.
Oh, I know Bobby Ball.
Yeah, long
Yeah. Oh,
time
yeah,
ago.
yeah.
So yeah, dancing
Wait, were
with
they
Will Smith.
upstairs the edge? Their
No,
offices?
Bobby Ball was they were off of Lancashire by then. Yeah, they were like a small
I
agency.
met that. I know I met him. I know that.
It's a small agency. So yeah, that
Yeah.
was my first big job, dancing for Will Smith. And then after that, it was doing. Remember all those iPod
he didn't
commercials
punch you. He
that
was
came
good.
out? No, Will Smith was great.
I know.
He
Well,
was
I teach at
nice.
Debbie Allen's, and I teach in the Will Smith room that he donated, and I think it's hilarious. And I've met his wife a couple times, and I think they're lovely.
Yeah,
but
no,
okay.
he was so nice, so kind. But after that, I did all the iPod commercials that came out, those iPod billboards.
Yeah.
That was a moment. I danced with NSYNC. That was fan. I did Dirty Pop. Dirty Pop. I had to skate for the first time ever on Dirty Pop. Never knew how to skate, but I
Roller
faked,
skate.
Yeah, but I
Oh.
faked it till I made it around Justin Timberlake, skating for my life. They was like, "Who wants to skate around Justin? Who can?" Yup.
Get that hand up.
Sure
Get that hand
can.
up.
Sure can.
See, kids, you can't be one of these people.
No. Raise your hand.
Boom. I'm
Fake
in.
it till you make it. I skated for my life around him. Never skated ever. I was dying. And then after that, I just danced with Missy, danced with Jessica Simpson. Just started just dancing with pretty much a lot of people, doing Coke commercials, Burger King commercials. I was just doing everything. And then I got to Gaga. And
And-
it just all changed. She was just the one person that just allowed me to just do what I felt I truly wanted to do. And it wasn't ever about being perfect. And it wasn't about like how sexy can I be. And it wasn't about worrying about like what anybody else is gonna think. And I just loved that about her. I think that when we met, as she wanted to be obviously a successful pop star, I wanted to be a successful choreographer at the time. And I just felt like it just all collided.
And
at the
where
right
did you
time.
meet?
Met her in Hollywood at an old studio called Alley Cat.
Okay.
It closed down. They shut it down. I used to love that studio. So many great artists rehearsed there. Janet, Michael. I mean,
When you say studio, recording studio, not
no,
a dance.
sorry,
It was
this
a
is
dance studio? Oh, it
called,
was.
called
Cat.
Alley Cat.
Okay.
It was on Sunset and Gower. Really Sunset and Gordon, but Sunset and Gower.
Okay.
Amazing studio. Oh, they
And
should have never
she
let
was
that go.
there dancing? She was there?
No, so Vincent Herbert at the time was she's on Streamline, so same record company, his label. And he said, "Listen, I want you to go down to Alley Cat and I want you to check out Gaga. Tell me what you think about her." And I was like, "All right, cool." I mean,
Okay.
that was the
And this
was the
is
phone
when
call.
you had always been choreographing, but this was like the moment in time
Yeah,
where you were going to transition from dancer, backup
Yeah.
dancer to I'm the guy.
Prior to her, I was choreographing. I was assisting. I assisted some great people, especially Michael Rooney. Do you know
Of course, I know Michael Rooney.
Michael Rooney? I always tell him,
You
I was like,
assisted Michael Rooney?
yes.
Michael Rooney and I have never talked about that.
The first person I ever assisted on the planet was Michael Rooney. He changed my life. He changed my eye. He changed my life. And I tell him that to this day. I'm like, Michael, you don't understand. You think I assisted other people after him, but I was like, you think it's about everyone else? I was like, you don't know what you did. So
He lets kids do what? Show me what you've got,
100%.
and believe in yourself, and let me see. He came into Pittsburgh, and I don't know how I got the call. Maybe I saw he was coming or something, because social media has changed everything now.
Yes, it has.
So you can know everything. And he was coming to Pittsburgh to shoot a movie for Disney
Okay.
or something.
okay.
They were shooting in Pittsburgh randomly. It's cheap to shoot there.
Yes.
And he was coming in and he was looking for dancers. And he said, I want to see your kids. Send me your kids. So he was auditioning at one of the colleges, the universities in Pittsburgh. It's a big dance school, whatever. I don't have anyone that goes there.
Yeah.
And so my kids show up and they go and they, you teach them, don't go in the same group, split yourselves up.
Yes.
They're not going to pick all of you. They,
Yes.
they have to show
We
the
know
love.
all
They have to
that.
throw it around, but this is a real audition.
Yes.
They go in, nobody will dance with them. No one will be in their group, because they're like, whatever. He's like, oh my God. He called me from the audition, in the middle of the audition, while they were dancing,
Okay.
because he had them tumble.
Work.
And he was like, oh my God, you have to be Abby's kids.
Yes.
And they all went, and he
We
was
are.
like, oh my God. He's like, I'm calling her right now. And there's all the 100 other kids standing in the room like
Yep.
that.
Yes.
They all got the job except John Michael Fumar, because he was too young. He was only 17. He was dying. I never saw him like that. He was devastated. And
Oh.
they got the job. They did it in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Move here. He hires a girl, Taylor Ackerman.
Okay.
She's here a week and she's on Hit the Floor, scripted show,
Yep.
3 years with him
Yep.
because she did the job in Pittsburgh. Jesse's on tour with who right now?
Oh, Rosalia.
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 Okay,
So
okay.
Jesse's on tour all
Iconic.
over the world with Rosalia. He did Michael Rooney's thing.
Got
And
it.
then Miranda, and she did Kanye for years and she's retired.
Work.
But Michael, in the middle of an audition, is calling me saying, oh my God, your kids are nuts. They can do anything. He's like, I'm just letting them twirl. Like, they're just doing their thing. He's like, I don't even need to do anything,
He's
know?
everything.
But he's a good guy. And for those of you watching at home, Michael Rooney is the son of Mickey Rooney. And
Mhm.
Mickey Rooney was a child actor, a huge star when you signed your life away to these big, huge studios like MGM and, Disney and all that. And he was Judy Garland's partner and Debbie Reynolds and all that. And that's where Michael Rooney has that history from that.
Yes, he does.
Oh, I'm so glad that
Oh
you
my
said that
God,
lovely thing
yes,
about him.
He's everything.
Okay,
but
good.
So yeah, I met him because prior to that, I was asked to go on the Backstreet Boys tour, and at the time they were going to be paying $2,500 a week plus per diem. They're going to be gone for a year and a half.
Whoa.
And so my agent called
Back
me.
then, you could have bought a house right after
Back
that.
then, sure could have. But my agent called me. He was like, so they want you. Rehearsal starts in 2 days. What do you want me to tell them? And I was like, let me call you
I
back.
can't be gone for a year and a half.
I literally was like, Rich, you cannot be gone for a year and a half. You're not going to know anybody when you get back. You'll have all the money in the world. I was like, but you won't know anybody. You'll start over from scratch. I was like, and I want to stay here. And I was like, I want to assist. That was at the time I was like, I want to assist so I can learn my craft. And when I called him back, and he could not believe.
You were turning this
He
job
was like,
in.
you sound crazy. He's like, I know how much money you have in your account, which is none. This is like, are you stupid? And I was like, I know I sound crazy. I know, but I'm telling you, I think I should stay. So I turned down that job and I stayed. And so that next week was an audition for Usher. At the time, he had like 4 different choreographers. There was this huge audition at the old Millennium
Okay.
at the Dome, and I'm in there going for it. And so by the end of the day, I get a phone call from my agent. He was like, listen, did you have on like a black hoodie and some black sweats and some brown boots? And I was like, yeah, why? How'd you know? He was like, well, Michael Rooney happened to peek in as you were dancing, and now he wants you to assist him.
Bam!
That's how me and Michael Rooney met. It's because he literally walked in while I was auditioning, saw me dance, saw me freestyle, and was like, that's who I want to assist me. And just called my agent and was like, this is what he looked like. Is this your guy? And he was like, yeah. And so that's how
so Michael's on the phone a lot, I guess. So Michael, what did you first assist him on?
So the first job I assisted him on was a video called Blue Cantrell's Hit 'Em Up Style. And I remember going to rehearsal, ready to show him all my hip hop steps, all my badass hip hop steps.
Yeah,
That's all I wanted. I was like, I'm ready. He's probably wants my hip hop.
Yeah.
Back then I used to move like lightning. I would
Okay.
literally move like lightning. And so I go into the room. He's already sitting there. He has on this like baby blue velour sweatsuit.
Did you hear me? Did you hear him sitting there? He was sitting there.
Sitting there, legs crossed. There's a Starbucks in one hand. There's a CD in another. So I walk in. He's like, come on in. He's like, sit your stuff down. I'm like, okay. So I sit my stuff down. He was like, which meant come grab this CD.
Yep.
I
I'm not
grabbed the
getting up.
CD.
Yeah.
He's sipping his coffee. He's like, put in the player, press play. And I said, okay. He's like, then come over here and cut down the volume. And I'm like, okay. CD goes in, volume down. Music is
Okay.
starting. Da-na-na-na.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you ready? And I'm like, okay. And I'm sitting here looking at him like, what's about to happen?
Wait,
And how come
ready
he's not standing up? And I'm like, I'm waiting for him to get up and show me what he wants me to learn.
Right.
So I can.
That's not Michael Rooney. No.
That
No,
what he
I
said.
know that.
He's like, you ready? And I was like, yeah. He says, okay. Give me something that goes jump, spin, ga-da-ga-da-ga-da. 5, 6, 7, 8. I jumped. I spun. Whatever ga-da-ga-da-ga-da meant to me, I did it. And he was like,
that's what you do with my
okay, I
kids.
love that. Now add this on. Jump, spin, ga-da-ga-da-ga, slide, ba-doop-bop. We literally worked like that for 3 days. He never got up. He never.
Michael, my
got
brother.
up.
High five.
And that was the first time I understood simple but effective. That was the first time I understood that sounds create dances. That was the first time I understood that you don't have to get up if you're the choreographer. And I had never seen that. I had never known that. And so that's why I always tell him, you don't understand what you did, because that was the first time I'd ever realized those things are what catapulted a lot of what people have seen come out of me now from learning those lessons.
Right. And you have to see it. You have to, well, I need to see it. Like, I
Yeah.
need to see you do it and go, okay, wait, now do this, change
Yes.
that. I keep that back leg straight. Like, do that again.
Yes.
And that's, I watch it. And I went to a dance studio recently as a guest and went in and taught. And the girl had her seat in the back corner, upstage corner too.
Yeah.
And she said, I see you sit in that corner, and I know there must be a reason that you're there. You're watching it through the mirror. That's the place to sit. And she
Yes.
said, so that's where I sit. It's so funny that people that think the things they catch on the show
Yes.
that happen, and so like you need to visually see what that's going to look like.
100%.
If you're doing it, you're looking at your leg or your arm or your whatever. You're not looking at the whole picture.
And it is about confidence, and it is about believing in yourself, because even in those moments, I wasn't self-conscious. I was like, whatever this man says to do, you're about to just whatever the sound is, you're about to figure it out. And it's because I was in band. It's because I was a dancer. It was because I understood how he was saying. It was his intonations about how he was like, what was he wanting? I could just understand what he wanted, and I would just deliver that.
Well,
He taught me
that's
so
reading
much.
someone's mind.
Yeah, he taught me so much. And so, and from them I assisted other people, but he was just the one that changed how I saw everything, changed how I danced, changed how I thought about the big picture.
Right. And even when you look at old movies like Bob Fosse's All That Jazz or whatever, you see those people sitting in the front watching it, and then they might jump up and say, no, give me that hat. It's
Yes.
here, it's there, it's whatever. And then they sit back down and watch it to see, is that right? You know, because
Yes.
it's all backwards.
Yes.
And I know I used to get flack about that. Well, she's just, sitting on her ass. What does she know? But also, as a former dancer, not me, but a lot of those people that were former dancers before they were choreographers, they're broken. They're
100%.
beat. You can't do it every day, all day. And I remember my mom having, in the high heel tap shoes, you had on like jingle taps. They were called jingle taps because when you're teaching all day from 3 o'clock till 9 o'clock at night,
Yep.
you can't pound your foot into the floor with these little kids trying to get them to learn the difference between stomp and stamp and,
Yep.
and a flap and a shuffle. So the tap sound makes it easier for you on your
Yes.
legs and your feet.
Yes.
So you have to preserve yourself.
100%.
Because I'm waiting for my comeback dance career. That's why I had
let's
to
get it.
preserve myself.
But thank God I was in band. It just like and you said it too, like put your kids in band. Like it you don't know what it's gonna do for you later. I think that as a choreographer, especially like in the pop space where sort of anything goes, which is a gift and a curse. It can either be amazing or it can be horrible. I always tell people when they ask that little thing, like, well, what's the difference between you and so and so? I'm like, the difference is that I played music. I'm not just someone that just got up one day and was like, oh, I like this beat. I played music, so I understand things from a little bit of a different perspective because a lot of choreographers don't. They never played music. They just grew up dancing to beats,
Right.
which is fine.
Right.
And a
Well,
lot of
I
them-
know Broadway is a completely different world, but sometimes with John Kander and Kander and Ebb, the Sweet Charity, Chicago, all those shows, they have a new show.
Mhm.
And Lin-Manuel Miranda came in and did some of the lyrics, the new stuff after Fred Ebb passed away. And it's called New York, New York. But he was sitting there. I was there the night he was there. And he said, we were talking afterwards, and he said, I have to go give notes to the orchestra because I heard a few things. And then he looked at me and he said, it's not what they're playing. It's what they were given. I need to correct some of the music.
Yep.
So sheet music, looking at it, reading it, when you're doing a Broadway show, the soundtrack hasn't been recorded.
Yep.
The choreographer is creating the dance numbers to sheet music.
Yep.
No one even played it. It might be a piano they're banging it out on. You don't even have a full orchestra.
Yes.
So how do you do Shanae turn, pas de bourrée, step,
Yep.
step, touch when you don't even have a song to listen to?
100%.
So that's why kids, instrument, sheet
Please.
music, voice lessons, learn it all.
Because you
Everything.
never know, those skills might take you all the way to the Super Bowl.
To the Super Bowl.
And full circle. So for the Super Bowl, when we did it in 2017, I literally brought back everyone who had ever danced at some point with
Mhm.
Gaga. That was one of the things that I did. So I didn't audition dancers. I was like, everyone who, even people we let go.
You fired on tour. Well, had to leave them go for a reason.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing about this business too. Is it's
Let
like
them go.
because someone's not on a video or they just did one stage show and then do the next one doesn't mean they're even like no one has a lifelong contract. Like
Right.
sometimes we use 20 dancers and after that we have to go down to 5. Like
Yeah.
so, but just people who were some who were actually let go and then some who we just didn't use again because life
Whatever.
happens.
Yeah, life
But
happens.
I brought them all back to do the Super Bowl. So that it was like so cool. But the best thing about it was bringing back Ed. Ed had, because of what Ed did for me as a young
You're
kid.
Ed Moore, the same
Yes,
kid.
he danced.
Oh, the way you said, I never saw him again. I thought we never saw him again.
Well, no,
Okay.
I mean, not like
Your buddy.
I had no like help as far as like figuring it out. Like he was just on tour. Like he was dancing with everybody back then. So I didn't
Okay.
really see him like that. But obviously he knew I was out there and obviously knew what I was doing. But for that Super Bowl, I brought him back too. Only because of what he he did for me. I was like, I have to. Like it's Ed, and
Yeah.
he's the reason why I'm even here. But that was an amazing Super Bowl.
And how long did
Amazing
you
Super
have
Bowl.
to prepare?
A month and a half of just talking about what we wanted to do,
Okay.
how we were going to do it. But physical rehearsal, 1 month.
Wow.
Yeah, 1 month of rehearsals. It was so cool.
You know what my favorite part is of the
Go.
performance?
Go.
Obviously, Bad Romance, but how you started it.
That'd be that little moment.
You
in
had that little
between.
moment. You basically opened up for everybody to come out, and no, because like full circle,
Mhm.
you deserve that.
Thank
You
you.
know,
deserve
for what
that
it's
moment.
worth. For what it's worth.
Yeah.
I just like when we, as the fan base were watching, we were like, yeah, like that makes, or at least me. I
Thank
don't know
you.
if I was the
Yeah.
only one that noticed, but it was sick.
I
It was
appreciate that.
awesome.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing that I commend Gaga on, or you, of course, is that everybody knows Lady Gaga's choreographer.
Mhm.
You name other pop people, I don't, Rosalia, I don't know who the hell her choreographer is. I know that I have a dancer in it, but I don't know who gave him the job. Like I don't know these other choreographers. So you have become a name, a celebrity, a person of interest because of the quality work and the incredible work you've done
Thank you.
over and over and over again.
Thank
It's
you.
like, Michael Bennett, Bob Fosse, Jerome Robbins, Richie Jackson. Like you're
That's not-
sitting right in here, you
I've
know?
always wanted that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And other people, I don't know who they are.
Listen, all I want to say is when I saw Thriller as a child, that changed my life. I was like, that thing that has where you just know what the song is because of the dance move.
Yes.
That's what I've always wanted. And I just never in a million years dreamed that it would have ever gotten this big. But that's just what I always wanted. Like,
And
Well, you had your own.
yeah, you had your
own.
own movement.
You had
Everyone
your
knows your
own-
movement. I'm sure that Michael could get up and do a few moves for you
Sure
here.
could. I know he
And
can.
look, he's doing it right there. He's got it. Yeah.
You know, we could do it.
I
Yeah.
can't do any of that stuff
Well,
because
and
I need it to flow.
I'm obviously biased, but me especially, that choreography is what helped me as a person want to dance.
Work.
And I know that I'm not the only one.
No.
So
That's awesome.
You have a whole
You know-
cult following, and I say the word cult in a good, positive way.
Yes.
You have a whole following of people with social media, with TikTok, with Instagram. You see,
Yes.
you put something new out there, and they're all sending them to you, and you're kind enough to repost them.
Yes.
And people are just like, "Oh my God, Richy Jackson reposted me," you
Yeah.
know, and
'Cause
they're
I-
all doing your moves.
Because that's how crazy I would be if I was any one of these kids and like any one of those choreographers back in when I was growing up or posted. So I would go crazy.
Right?
Like I used to love Tina Land. I thought she was so amazing. I was like, oh my God, what
She
does,
is. She
what she does
was.
for Janet is amazing. Like I would have died if she reposted me doing If.
Yes.
Or any one
And
of her
I'm sure she
choreographers.
would have.
Yes.
If she had the tool and
Yeah.
the app and the this and the that. Yes. All right. We have to wrap it up here, Richy Jackson.
really quickly, rapid fire.
Yes.
Let's
don't
do
know
a
what
couple
that is.
rapid fire questions.
Great.
Favorite song you got to choreograph?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Favorite.
Oh my God.
You could do a top 3,
Okay, top 3.
or just name your faves.
Top 3. Bad Romance, Telephone, Rain on Me are my top 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever really watched a Dance Moms episode?
Which season?
Any season. Just a Dance Moms episode.
No.
Hey, you lived it. You lived
I
your
lived
own.
it.
Yeah.
I've watched Abby's Ultimate seasons 1 and 2
Oh, you
over
have?
and over.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right.
Favorite performance other than the Super Bowl?
Oh my God. Paparazzi VMAs 2009.
Iconic.
Listen to that Paparazzi VMAs 2009. What happened? You met
Yes.
someone.
No.
No, that's when Abby. That's when Gaga bled on stage.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The-
Now I
it's
know.
when it- yeah.
I didn't know the year.
That was
okay.
Yeah.
that was amazing. And also I loved Grammys Born This Way.
Iconic.
I loved we never performed Telephone Live.
It's not
Okay,
too late.
so-
it's not too late.
So let's ask this. I judge the Emmys,
Okay.
choreography for the
Yes.
Emmys.
Okay.
Whatever's televised
Yes.
can be used. It has to be certain dates and certain times. It has to be a certain
You're on
length.
the Emmys
The
board, Academy.
Yeah, for that.
We need to have a conversation.
Well, yeah. So I don't really remember seeing submissions of Gaga stuff
For Super Bowl or anything.
for anything.
Yeah, that's what we have
I
a
might not have been
conversation.
judging for the Super Bowl. However, I always see Tice Diorio, Keith, you know what I'm talking about?
I
He
know.
submits whatever Taylor Swift does.
Yep.
And we're sitting in this room with colleagues some that have done brilliant work, but probably not too many that were on 8 seasons of television or 8 years of television. And some who have not been on 8 long years of television. And we're judging this and we're looking at it. And, you know, it's hard to judge that type of a performance because the camera has to be the camera view that was used on TV. It's the
100%.
television edit.
Yes.
Okay. So it's on Taylor Swift. It's not on her dancers and what they're doing. You can just see around her what they're doing. It's hard because you're not judging the dancers, you're judging the artists, but the dancers are doing the full out choreography.
100%.
The artist is kind of step touching, you know?
100%.
So that's where it gets weird with the judging stuff, where the scripted stuff, when you're watching Marguerite Derrick's and you're watching a big number from Marvelous Mrs. Maisel or whatever,
100%.
it's different because you're actually watching a group of dancers dance.
Right. No, I get it. I just, one, I've stopped submitting, and two, at the Super Bowl, I was done. The fact that they told me that I could be up for a nomination because nothing on that performance was choreographed from scratch, like as if it was brand new. Now you have to understand this.
These are all their rules and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
but you have to understand. I'm listening to the music director get nominated, the production designer, the director, everyone around. Everyone gets a nomination except for me, but the body of scratch off all the dancing out that show.
What'd you have left? Nothing.
Boom. 2, I hear their rules, troops, but this makes no sense. See, you have to play, it's a different game you have to play. If I had re-choreographed every number, fans would kill me.
Right.
If I don't see Bad Romance the way Bad Romance is done, why have we paid all of our dues to now get him be like, well, you know what, guys, I'm going to choreograph the whole thing so I can be nominated or submitted for a nomination.
When you've gotten that far to the Super Bowl where you want to pay homage to everything that you've done.
Everyone else, the producer, the director, the music director,
Wow.
everyone else around me, except for me, is nominated for an Emmy. And I'm sitting over here because,
that was
And
amazing.
I know she probably was livid
well, it just,
about that.
they
Everyone.
shouldn't, someone needs to fix that because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You can't have Michael Jackson perform Smooth Criminal and him not do Smooth
And
Criminal for the sake of some award. Like, people
Let's
would
not
kill,
forget you
kill
had
him.
something to do with the staging. You
Literally
and yes, you keep the same, you know,
so,
it's different.
So
Yeah.
you submitted, but it wasn't eligible.
So there was that. And then
Okay.
I've just stopped submitting, period, because it just is what it is. Well, what I have done, in my opinion, I think has touched a lot more people just on originality.
Mhm.
And there's
There's no question about that.
right.
I'm
So
just saying,
when
like,
they don't
like
look at
me,
it.
I get upset because I see what's being submitted, and then I look at like the straitjacket number, not JoJo's one, but that Lily did, or
Yeah.
I look at like the spider dance, and I'm like, I judge the rest of the stuff. This would have blown up. The people sitting around me would have been like, their
What I'm-
jaw dropping.
What I'm saying is that the stuff that makes it through is always the same kind of stuff.
Yes.
And at some point, you just be like, you know what? I'm not going to subject myself to someone saying, well, no to this, but this moment on this TV show or this Instagram moment was amazing. And no shade, it's always lyrical. It's always jazz. It's always the same thing.
Well, that show's over. So
Well, no, but just whatever submit. Like, I've stopped here.
yeah.
I've always been like, don't submit me to anything because I can't take that. I know what these songs have done for the world.
Yeah.
And they have
okay,
to see
well,
these
since-
versions
since I've been involved
done on something
since
else.
I've been a member of the Television Academy, I have nothing has ever come across my face that's Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Nothing. So, because it's not been that many years.
I just,
Okay.
just like, no, it's just not, I can't. I'm like, you guys, I know what's happening in the world. There's this little area of TV that's happening, but it's not moving the world. It might be a great number
Yeah.
on
yeah,
that show.
no,
Don't
it's
play
not.
with me.
No.
And it's
but
that.
but if you do something original, and like everything you do is
Yes.
original. But if something goes on TV that's brand new that is eligible, just
100.
throw
But
it in
even
there.
when they're judging videos,
Yeah.
or it's all of it. And
Yeah.
I've stopped. Like what was bigger than Rain on Me that year?
Nothing.
Nothing.
So why are we even playing this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that kind of stuff. And if there is bigger than great, whatever. But I've given up over this. 'Cause I just can't. I'm like, you guys, I just can't.
All right, with that, I'm going to feel like you then. That's me.
well,
Because I get
yeah.
I'm like, why did our television show never be nominated for anything? And then Brian sat here and said, oh, yeah, we submitted.
I think that there should be a point where it's not just what came out that year.
Well, no, it is. There's every year it is.
I know.
It's like you
but
can't
like,
have people playing the Super Bowl that won 3
Well-
years ago. You have to win that year.
yeah.
Well, yeah. it has to be
Lifetime
that year.
achievement, a moment not to forget. I don't know, something just
Oh,
to
like an honorary.
like
thing.
an
Yeah.
honorary, you
Yeah.
know, for just the work that's
So,
involved.
what's in the future for Richy Jackson?
I want 12 more artists.
Okay.
I'm gonna probably start directing at some point. It's inevitable.
Right.
It just happens. You already know that. I
Right.
know that. I do it from the side anyway. It's
Yes. We do it from the side.
fine. We do it from the side anyway. It's fine. I just want to keep creating more. I want challenges. I want more artists, more weird things, more different things. I want someone to say, "How do we fix this? How do we do this? Can we do this?" I like challenges. I mean, if it's normal artist stuff, I love that too. But I love challenges. I also want to like choreograph like a major movie, but not.
Ooh.
But I don't want to do what they want me to do.
I mean, you did A Star Is Born, right?
Yeah, that was amazing. And I had
But you
fun.
want-
But
but you wanna
I
do more,
want to
do
do
bigger.
something that's like new and cool, but without it having to be a period piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be trapped in like, oh, this is what it's gotta feel, because that's not how we got Gaga. I think that she broke all the rules. I could break
She
all
did.
the rules with her. I want to break more rules, not throw us in like, well, this is how pop should be.
Mhm.
This is how it should look. This is how it should dress.
No.
We literally went against all of it. This is how it, like theater and sort of pop in that way wasn't like that. It wasn't done in this way. And so I love that. I want to continue to do that in other
Right.
facets.
She has
so.
that whole theatrical aspect to everything. Every time she opens her mouth, it's a whole story. It is like a feature film. Like everything that she does, it's just so elaborate and so unique,
And on purpose and because it's
intentional.
Yeah, intentional is a better word. Like, this is what the song feels like. This is what the outfits calls for. This is what the dancing calls for. I look at things now sometimes and I'm just like, but does anyone even know why we did that? We just didn't just throw a burger on our head because we can.
He
I know.
knows.
I know.
I
Not
don't
everybody
know.
knows.
I don't know. I know there's a reason.
That's another, reason why I'm so happy you came on this podcast, because, hopefully, some of our younger listeners will be able to take that away, just all like how much goes into this kind of art, and it's not just the artist, it's the whole team that makes the artist. And
There's something
know.
that I often say when I'm teaching dancers, male dancers, this, that, and I always say, J-Lo wants men standing behind her, hot guys, a
Yes.
Vegas show, whatever. Lady Gaga can have an androgynous being behind her, depending on what
Yes.
song, what you're looking for.
Yes.
So just before we wrap it up, tell the kids out there, if they come to audition for Richy Jackson, they need to know your work. They need to know how to dress for you.
Yep.
They need to know what you're auditioning them for.
Yes.
What are they going to be? Get the mindset before you walk in there, if
Yes.
they're allowed to know.
Yep.
So how do they find out? Do they have to have an agent already? Do you ever see anybody an open call?
So the only time I really do open calls if it is for someone like a huge artist like a Gaga, like a Jojo did an open call. But other than that, they do have to have agents. It's easier, it's better, it's more of a quality control.
Okay. Okay.
And they have to be at least 18 unless I'm looking for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
but
right.
it is about how you dress. It is about the style of dance. If the artist is named, investigate that artist if they're someone who's already out. If they're not named, come as you are. Also, don't be afraid to be who you are. That's what I'm seeing a lot now is people just so afraid to shine. They'd rather just be like one of the many than step out and like shine. I'm always like, but it's an audition. And if there's only 5 out on the floor, you need to shine now.
Right. Like Asia. Like JoJo.
100%.
Like those
Yes.
unique
You need to
stars.
Yeah, because the thing about it is anything you have to fix and clean up, you can fix and clean up in rehearsal. But on the audition floor, show us who you are. Show me who you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here. at Leave It on the Dance Floor. Richy just left it all on the dance floor. That's right.
Yes.
And again, you can find him at
Richy Squirrel, RICHY Squirrel on Instagram.
Werk.
Werk. All right. Thank you for joining us here today on this podcast. Make sure you go follow Richy Jackson at Richy, RICHY Squirrel. And I will see you, hear you. I will maybe know you're listening. Yes, to my next podcast. Leave It on the Dance Floor.
My world is with my